guys in different ways than being a predator. What time is the catch tomorrow? 2 o'clock. We'll see though. We'll see. That could all change. That could all change. Could be earlier, could be later. I know we got another one that's a little bit out of the way. I need to tell the decoy to go for it. It's another driver. I don't mind if it's a couple hours away. I don't mind. I don't want to attack people but I'll do that in a day. 3 hours there, 3 hours back. That's fine. Full day, we can do it. Oh, Pastor Chucky. Okay. He's being investigated by ICAC, which is Internet Crimes Against Children. I don't know. I will be getting a birthday storm, LOL, so I will be there to watch my birthday catch. All right, Sir Pella, that's going to be awesome. Hi, how are you? The throat goat predator. No. That was when they weren't arresting. I don't know whatever they did with that. I think that was like Fort Collins. I will say shout out to the PD. Okay, there was a catch recently. Again, I just found out about it this morning. But the cop was telling the team that, like, hey, I love that Colorado Pet Patrol. Watch them all the time. I think Tommy does great. And I think that's cool when another state, different cop from a different department that I don't even really know, says, I love Colorado Pet Patrol. I love Tommy and what they do. They do a good job. That's fucking cool. That's badass. What's up, MMA? How are you doing, MMA Latina? Whew. How many rock stars today, Tommy? I just opened my first. I'm on my first one. But I was going to say I just opened it, but I think I'm getting ready to just finish it. It's on my trunk. Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. You guys, we're growing. Like, we have a lot of support in Colorado, but I think we have just as much support in other states too. Like, we can go to, Long Island, and we have people pulling up on the catch. We can go to, Alabama, people pulling on the catch. West Virginia, the same thing. So we got people all over. But I think it's really cool when the police are seeing and saying that we're doing a good job. So I don't know. It's exciting. I see you watched Alex's live on Rumble, LOL. I didn't. Is that where it was? Because somebody sent me just what it was said. I didn't even get to see the clip. 214. Yeah, we went up 1,400 subs yesterday. 1,400 subs yesterday. Or that could have been the day before. I think they were day behind. Still pretty badass. Why you put your Cash App in here? What's that going to do? Yeah, rock stars, man, they're not going to make you healthy, That's probably a part of the reason why I shake, It's a lot of sugar. I watch you in Australia, and I love what you... See, that's what I'm talking about. What's going on, Harvey? How are you? Are you guys needing more decoys?
What up, everybody? Sorry. Hey, Bokomo.
A lot of times you'll get a bunch of decoys, they'll do a catch, and they won't do another
one. We're buying here, getting things set up. Got some appointments coming in about 10 minutes, so...
You guys reminded me, I was way at the corner of my trailer. I'm walking back. Go get it. Georgia, we got them everywhere. I only drink jasmine green tea.
Yeah, I think he's just chatting. I don't think he's on the catch. We'll go over to last responder as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We want to bring justice to every one of these fucking people,
You can hear him in the background.
165 people in here. Smash the freaking light. I'm not positive, but I'm hoping we'll get a premiere out tonight. I'll let you guys know for a premiere tonight. But again, people are busy and they got their lives too, So, but I'm hoping for one tonight. I know they knocked out a lot, and I just ran through them, which I get excited. That's what I do. Shout out from Arizona. What's up, Dusty? How are you, buddy? I don't drink coffee. I don't. Thank you for the $2, Trevor. Yeah. Well, we don't have any update on him, Trevor. I know which one you're talking about now. We don't have an update. Yeah, I still have some in my first one, so I've had like 3/4 of a Rockstar.
Rockstar over coffee. Ew.
It really is.
Coffee brand coffee. Links in the description for a good discount.
Love your show. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I appreciate it. I don't know, Scum. We don't have a catch set up for today, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get one. How old are your decoys normally? I would say between 23 and 65. Do you hate pets? I mean, I don't like to say I hate anybody, but I dislike them very much, I dislike them very much. They are not my favorite people. What's going on? Live with Becca. How are you? Joey, I think he's still doing things on different... You got to find him on different platforms. YouTube knocked everybody out, you guys, but what they're doing, which is weird, they're letting everybody back. We got screwed. We royally got screwed. We were the last ones to pretty much get taken down, and then when we got taken down, we got a strike, so we got taken down, and it was only going to be for a week, and we could have remonetized, but we got a strike while we were taken down. So instead of being monetized with the strike, and you have to be careful for 3 months, we got demonetized with the strike. So don't know, Ramirez, if she's around, she's just on other channel. She's just not here.
Get those chat shorts going.
Keep the name out of here, brother. Keep that name out of here. Thank you for the 5. Tommy, I'm not a brother, LOL. Cuba, I always do that to you. Sister. Thank you, Cubano. I always do that to you. I do that to everybody. I don't know why, but thank you so much. I appreciate you. Everybody's a brother to me. Not really. Did you move into your new place? Yeah, I moved here quite I don't know, like 6 months ago, I think. Can you produce a Tommy bobblehead with binder? Probably not. I don't know how to do it. Beard is coming back strong. It is. I just need to shave it up, give it a little line. I want to go to the damn barber, but what's the Cash App? Somebody give Jimmy the Cash App, please. Tommy do a podcast. We've always wanted to do one. It's more shit on the plate. You know what I mean?
It's nuts.
Turn down the notification, please. The volume is very high when it comes through. I can turn down a little bit. Turn down a little bit. Still gonna hear it. There's nothing I can do to get rid of that. So you're gonna have to deal with it a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Why I do it is because other people are like, well, he's not showing up. Like, no matter what I do, it doesn't work anyways, right? Like, no matter what I do, about my shit. So a lot of times, what happens is, if I don't.
Why
like,
does everybody have to reply all to emails that don't need to be replied all? That is my biggest pet peeve in information technology.
Well, you're gone. Sayonara there, piece of shit. Keep doing what you're doing, Tommy. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Economy all fixed today. Yeah.
That dude, so you can...
Apparently another bank went down too. From what I'm hearing, it was basically just a run.
But we did pass this off. I will tell you guys why. You'll understand when it
But either way.
Obviously, we wouldn't just pass off a catch. There is nobody we're afraid to catch. Nobody. But the reason why we did it, it'll all make sense when it happens. We want to see if this is a difference between the guy getting, 6 months of probation or 25 years in jail.
Ew, these people, but it's always the same people too. And you can even tell them over and over again. It's not, it'll even say in the email, do not reply all. Motherfuckers will do it anyway.
Hello, Nora.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you? My name is Walter.
Walter?
Yeah, and I was here to see if you had any work in this area that
We
I
do.
can get on.
We do. At the Telegraph location. It's not far from here.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just down the road.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
All right, thank you.
Actually, got a few more people coming too, but you're welcome to join.
I'm willing to
First
start.
shift especially.
All
So they're 10-hour shifts. All right. So you only have to work 4 days a week. Only really requirement is to have you gotta have steel toe boots. Jeans are fine.
Okay.
No sweats or anything. No jogging pants. Just no holes in the jeans either, just so they don't get caught in the machinery.
Okay.
And then a plain white T-shirt.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Jewelry, if you have any, would have to come out, but they'll give you the hairnet, beard net, and all that stuff. So, sound like something you'd be interested in?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Starts at 14, but the goal is to get you hired in there, and it should go up significantly from there.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
You got your ID and stuff with you?
Mhm. So first shift is what they looking for right now.
Yep. Yeah, she said she'll let me know next week if they need any more on second. I just placed one more. Actually, this should be starting in a little bit.
And then what else?
Just a social or a birth certificate.
Yep.
You worked here before, right?
Mhm.
The name looks familiar.
Turn that off here 1 second. Me and my boyfriend are big fans of what you're doing.
Says
Thank you. I appreciate it.
ID looks brand new.
Yeah, I got it updated.
But yeah, I mean, you got it back in September, but it's like literally it looks like it came right out of the press.
Oh,
It's in pristine condition.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the one thing that makes me sad is like, this trend came out, too late, right? I feel if there was teams doing this when we were younger, it wouldn't have happened to the people that it happened,
all right, let's get you pulled up, see what we need to do to update you, and we'll go from there.
You know what doesn't suck? My ringtone. Okay, so get off my
Where are you staying?
I'm staying currently now at the Medi-Brooks trailers, so it's 1A.
Oh, right there by there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
right across the street.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
I got a lot of them. I don't know. Right. I really, really, really like Aerosmith, but like I don't know if that's my favorite. That's the first one that came to my mind.
It's nicer today than it was yesterday,
Oh,
man.
yes.
The snow was coming down yesterday.
Coming down, man.
Yeah, we'll have to update your address and stuff. Your phone number still 8527?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So just click here. We just caught somebody the other day.
Just set up. We'll have you log in real quick and just update your stuff.
Okay.
That was July
Mm-hmm.
when we gave it a try. What was the problem back then?
It was because my mom, was having health issues trying to work there and stuff, and it was kind of more convenient with us having just one car back then where we were living at. It was more convenient that we both worked at the same job.
Gotcha.
So we got more financially strong.
Okay.
We were still staying at
That easy to do in this economy.
Yeah. We were staying at the Monroe Motel at the time. We were trying to get out of there, so everything went good
It's like
for
you're
us.
taking steps. It's awesome, man. Yeah, sure. I'm willing to give you another shot.
Yeah.
Perfect timing too, because right after the New Year, they had a supply chain issue, and I only had like 5 people over there because it was
Mike
so
was
slow.
telling me over there when I used to walk past there just to talk to him.
But step back up again.
Yeah, that's good.
In fact, just last week they were like, "Okay, you can start trickling them back in again."
Okay.
Like, all right, but I told them I was like, I'm not going to send you guys the same old people. I said I'm going to send you.
Yeah.
You weren't there long enough to establish anything, so we'll be able to really establish something this time. Now, do you still have that pay card I gave you?
No, actually, I got me in my own bank account now.
That works.
I got
you got that info with you? I can take it too.
Yep.
Yeah, when you were there, man, you're counting the hours.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that work and stuff. With the production, it was really nice good system they had going on there. Here you go. My account number's at the top and in the bottom.
Which bank is this?
PNC.
PNC.
Yep.
And this is a checking account. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, let me see if I even need to scan. Well, it's new, so I probably do. Let me see what we have on file here. Social security card. I probably don't need the social. I have that.
Okay.
What is this? Open document. Okay. Oh yeah, because your old one expired back in August, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Social's good. I don't need to rescan that one, but I do need to scan your new ID. Oh.
And then then they say, well, also I have a 4-year-old niece. All right, now they find out, so they're bringing the shit to the guy. You shouldn't take it anyway. So it's not like they're doing anything wrong. You shouldn't take it, but we're trying to catch the guys that are doing it, that are actually going for it. There's times where we try not to hang out, and we can throw that in there. We can throw that in there, but you got to be really careful with that shit. I don't want to set up something that they I don't know. Hey, come on, man, that ain't true. We're not gonna let that comment. We're not gonna let that comment fly.
Yeah, and this time, me coming in at this time, it's a perfect time for me because the issue that was causing my mom to leave was how hot it gets in the summertime and how the warehouse get, and it was kind of affecting me a little bit too, But this time, with me coming back and stuff, it won't be an issue because with us having the weather that we got, I can be able to deal with.
Yeah, and I think the climate control is doing a whole lot better over there too. Even in the summertime, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal because it's.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, they even got a unit for this building too.
Yeah, that's great.
You got 71 years, guys. 71 years.
Because out of all the jobs that I went past, I have to say this was the main one that I have to say, man, the impact is for the people, man. They really care about putting folks to work, man. Because I dealt with Phoenix and stuff and Cardinal and stuff, man. Oh man, it's bad. And for the clients that they be dealing with, man, I'm like, wow, man, there's no communication from the client itself and the temp service themselves. It's just like it's like you go to the temp and stuff and you're trying to apply for a job. The temp will tell you the information on what they know, But then when you go to the job, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
And it's like, yo, how is this happening? It was like that when I worked at Bay Corrigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was having issues.
You know what? We won't even hire for them. We just
Yeah.
because I mean there's safety issues there, and so
Yeah.
our insurance company won't even let us hire for them.
Wow, yeah.
So
They struggling really bad. Now I got a friend of mine.
There's a reason for it.
Work there. Yeah, he said he's only getting like 32 hours a week, man. And I said, wow, they cut the work because they couldn't keep folks in. And he was like, yeah,
it's unfortunate.
yeah, exactly, it is. And then Yafing wasn't too bad, but it was just the kind of work that they were doing wasn't really for me.
And they'll work you hard, and then it'll be close to where you get hired in, and then
I heard that happened
just let you go
too like that.
They're child predators and they're rapists and they're fucking child.
Yeah, I'm not going to denigrate anybody. I mean,
So if we're gonna be held to the true definition,
Yeah.
they're not pedophiles. They're child predators. And they're rapists. Go ahead and defend that shit. That's what they are. Child predators. That's what they are. But they're not pedophiles. Okay?
that was snowy and nasty. It was snowing when I got here, and then by the time I left, like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, it was snow when I left. I was like, man,
Child molesters.
I'm ready for winter to be over.
Yeah, me too, but
They're rapists.
you
They're
know.
child rapists. They're like, you know?
All right, let me see.
So Odyssey
Got new ID now.
Google,
Put this in.
and then when you get into Odyssey, search at Colorado Pest Control 2001. That'll bring you right there. Hit join. See, you're in. You'll have to do just like YouTube, and you'll have to probably verify your email because you're starting, your Odyssey, and that's it. No way. Courage. I love it. I've lost some people because they're like, dude, you're calling them pedophiles, and they're not pedophiles. And I said, all right, and I learned, and I'm like, you're right, they're not pedophiles.
All right.
They're child molesters, and they've left. Hemophilia is what it is. Yeah. Which whatever. They're all still child predators, right? Get them, Tom. Tommy does. I do. What's the Cash App? If somebody can put in the Cash App. I know, guys. I'm just asking when somebody asks for it. Just slap it in there. It's not a big deal. I appreciate this, dude. Thank you so much. CPP made it. You read it. People were shitting on you, and I want to say, I said, fuck you, guy. Tommy rocks. Get a crew to start broadcasting a multiple platforms. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm telling you guys, if you are doing something and you're successful anywhere in the public eye, anyways, if you're doing something in the public eye and you're doing well, you are going to have haters. If you don't have haters, you're not. Predators that hurt children 12 and under are way worse. I don't think. I think they're all bad. You're a 13-year-old or 11-year-old, you're fucking just as bad, in my opinion. Madsen, thank you for the 5.
All right. Wait till that moves up.
Okay.
Go ahead and put this new direct deposit info in for you.
Have you ever been in a situation where you don't call the cops? No. Thank you for what you do from a former Colorado. Nice. LOL, the haters is drowning by supporters, my guy. More supporters than haters, my guy. Oh, dude, it's probably 90-10, but I'm just saying. Nah, man, people have random thoughts and opinions which are totally valid in some situations because they don't agree with the situation. Others, let them know about your situation too. CPP is awesome. I mean, it is what it is. If I do something wrong, I'm the first one to come up here and say, hey, I fucked up. I've done it many times. Many times. But that doesn't change the fact that they're all bullshit. Fraud is bad. Fraud is bad. I agree. And I think if you commit fraud, you should be in jail, right? That's what you should be in. You should be in jail. I haven't committed fraud. So nice try, though. Nice try. Number one hater here. What is the protest game for clocking a pedophile in the head? That's happened a couple of times. When is the next catch? Tomorrow. Tommy, a friend of former police officer told me he walked in on a man attempting to rape a child. He wanted to kill him. Man, that's hard. At first, I was
I'm getting trolled by some buddies of mine online here. So.
I appreciate that more light. I will tell you, you're not came over here, thinking the bad, and then they stick around. But we also have people that have.
Speaking of winter time, man, the two storms that we just recently had about a few weeks ago and stuff really did a number around here. You know, where we lost power out here for like a few days. Yeah,
What's amazing is that power did not go off here or at the.
wow.
I call every day. Do I need to come up? They're like, yeah, we got power. I'm like, damn it.
Wow.
I live down west of Toledo. So
West of Toledo.
I do a 100-mile round trip a day.
Oh man.
So I was like, oh man, because I mean,
I will tell you that in the last.
it's amazing. It's only 50 miles away, but the weather differences between my house to here sometimes is completely different, and it's only 50 miles. So it's not in Toledo though; it's west of Toledo.
West
So
of Toledo. Okay.
All right, you got that set up. So okay, we can log in now. Yeah, just have a seat there. I'm gonna walk you through the. I had to reset your login for you, so I'll show you what the username is, and then I'll put in the temporary password. Then you can change the password to whatever you like.
Okay.
Once it boots, there we go. What's up now? Here, let me. Let me know that I'm keeping from over there. He stays in the stream. What time do you want to play, Anna? I'm just talking. I can set it up.
Go over to CPP Connect. Everything you need. Smash the like. Chit chat. I just put that. Thank you for the 25, Daniel. Thank you so much. Keeping our kids safe.
Okay, and this is where you'll go to check your pay stubs and stuff like that as well. You can do that from your phone or anything.
We don't claim that we go around the world to catch pedophiles, but we have 22 states where we've gone.
And your W-2 from last year will be in there.
We haven't hit them all. We don't look for that.
Yeah.
We're not looking like.
I don't know if it caught up to you in the mail or not. We do mail them out to the last address, but if you're not there anymore.
We don't do that. This is not a. It's not a game. I'm not asking for a trophy. I don't even have the fucking. I wanted it. Not gonna lie, but I don't even have the fucking the button. It's not about that. We are not gonna go try to chase the. Let's get a catch in each different state. That's not what we're trying to do. We catch people when we can catch them. If we can afford it, we go get them. That's just kind of what it is. If we catch somebody in every state, that just means we caught so many people that happen that way.
All right, I'm gonna set it up, guys.
13-year-old from Texas found in care. That's crazy.
Hello.
Woo, that's scary.
Yes, I can hear you.
Family. Just imagine being a mom or a dad of that 13-year-old. Just imagine. You're damn right I'm sorry. I haven't, Absolutely, man. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, you guys. I was going through the catches the other day because I'm taking down some catches on YouTube.
Second shift. All right. So they're going to let me know first thing next week about second shift. I mean, we had first shift, but I've already got that kind of taken care of. But they'll let me know first thing. No, I got your message. I let them know. I let them know that you didn't just not show up. So I let them know that you had issues. All right.
Unless you guys bring it up. I don't hate him. So, and I don't think he truly hates me. Well, you can ask him that, but I don't think really he does. People say that. I don't know where you're getting that. I don't hate him. I was pissed off at him for stopping by, but we've got past that. The trophy I like is the trophy that came from the National Trafficking Rescue Foundation. That's the trophy I like. You know what I mean? Tommy, live life.
So is this your new number that you're talking to me on?
No.
All right. This is Hector, right? Yeah.
I shouted you out. I think you just didn't hear it because you were over there.
All right. I'll let you know.
We're not going to tell you his channel. You can find him if you want to. I mean, I don't hate him, but I'm definitely not going to.
No worries. Do me a quick favor. And just send me a text to this number from your new number and put your name. Just put your name on the text so I can put it in our
And I'm
texting
not saying
system.
only him. I'm saying the tactics. You know, even though we're catching somebody that say maybe a pedophile or whatever. Or
No, you won't have to. You won't have to. You already did. I think you did. I think we should be okay. But yeah, for now, yeah, just send me a text with your name on it. That way I have your number and I can update it in our system once I get logged into it.
However, there's channels out there that are all about bullying. That's all they do.
Oh, no worries, man. It happens. But I'm doing an interview now. So if there's anything else. All right, cool.
Trolls are trying real hard to create infighting in the community. Oh, yeah.
I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything, bud.
They do.
All right.
Not
Bye.
no more.
Okay, we don't need to do the e-documents yet. Yeah, just go ahead and do that. Just update that phone number, address.
400. What's going on?
All right, let's set up a room.
I appreciate you guys. It's like somebody like in a 15, 14-year-old, 16-year-old, you know? How many cops have you caught being predators? I've only caught total of, I was involved in 2. One of them, it was just a collab with a really, really good catcher, and then another one was on my own, but he was a retired cop. Well, he was getting ready to go back to be a cop. He was in the process. He was an ex-Texas cop. It's the guy that put his badge on, but I don't think he can do it anymore. Dude, he should have been arrested for pulling a fake badge, you know? Because when you're not a cop no more, I heard that's just as bad as a fake badge. I don't know. I think you're just saying things about me. I don't think it's very funny either. What up, Tommy and the Catches? I'm just joining in. Jose, we got nothing today. Let's catch some redo.
Game set up, guys.
Catch some redo.
1:30.
Small hands.
30 minutes after the hour.
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Wick. I am so fucking sick of that. You know, a minor attracted person. That's not what they are. And those people that are shouting that shit out, let it happen to their child and see if they want them to be called a minor attracted person. Yeah, no, fuck no. No, you're good. I thought you were just trying to get out, but I guess you weren't. Probably me pushing it out. My bad.
All right, let's just skip this one.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to make us. All right. Anywhere where there's a blank, just put NA. You don't need to fill in that crap. I don't really care.
Let's get it, guys. Let's see if we can get 20 people over on Odyssey. We haven't got
Unless you know it. I don't, like I said, it doesn't really matter.
If you can do it, dude. If you can't, don't.
Hi, Taco.
Still working on it? Oh, shit. What's going on, brother?
Taco pie.
Too many. There is too many. Tommy, do you still go to church? I do. We went 2 weeks in a row. A different church.
Last responders driving a body, too.
I was shocked. It was a real small church. Our church that we go to is kind of bubble. It's like a mini church.
Just put zeros. One more zero.
One more. Okay.
Yep, there you go. It should be enough. Click next. There you go. And just under, yeah, that's why I do this, so I don't have to be over your shoulder because it's our application system is so quirky. Where it was supposed to be upgraded back in 2020 when COVID hit, and the money we paid a company to help us do it, they went under during COVID, so they got our money and we don't have a new system. So now we got to talk the board into spending that money again. Yeah, we weren't first in line during when the creditors came to them at their bankruptcy, so we got screwed. Let's see who's in. We got 3 here. No Mercy, Anna. Where you at, Dirty Dog? Doug. Boko Mo.
Oh, hey, Ayrton Auditor, welcome in. I appreciate you stopping by, even just to say hey. Right on, thank you so much. Ayrton, I've been up since 1 a.m. I went on a 700-mile run today. And I'm in my final last 2.5 hours.
All right, looks good.
Yeah,
You just got to hit next.
it's a long drive. It's like a 12-hour drive round
Here you go.
trip. Plus, I had to wait an extra hour at the funeral home
Table's up, Matt.
due to them screwing things up, so a little extra long. Once I get home around 2:30, I'll have a 12-hour off the clock window.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Liberty Report. With us today is Daniel McAdams, our co-host. Daniel, good to see you today.
Good morning, Dr. Paul. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
Good.
Checking my bank account to find out if there's any money there or whether the government took it from me yet. Sure is a lot of excitement going on in the financial markets.
Yeah.
And,
No kidding.
you know, I saw something in the paper.
Thanks, Matt. I was just playing on my phone, though. I didn't even have chat, so I couldn't even see what you guys were saying. I didn't know if anyone was streaming. Was Friends streaming last night? I was laying on the couch playing.
This morning that said that Bill Griffin, who was the founder of Citadel, he said, breaking down before our eyes, capitalism is breaking down before our eyes.
no.
He's a good guy. He's critical of the bailouts and all.
Uh-huh.
But I got to thinking, well, when did capitalism break down? And see, I think back a little bit.
Yeah.
The setup and the prediction of the breaking down was there, and it looks like today they're patching it together, and it calmed down a little bit, but it's amazing
Turn it down a little bit, maybe.
how long the system works. But we haven't had true free markets in a long time, and they've never been perfect. But it certainly has been challenged here in the last couple of days.
Yeah, it has, absolutely. And, it's only been 24 hours when President Biden went on TV to assure everyone that this is fine, as the flames were all around him, as the meme goes. After he assured everyone that everything is fine, the bank stocks, of course, dropped, and they had to halt trading. Let's put the first article up, because I've got a lot of questions. America has a lot of questions, and you've got a lot of answers. So.
Well, we'll see.
But this is the Wall Street Journal's view to yesterday morning. Biden's bank bailout whoppers. The president offers assurances that markets
Next, there you go.
don't believe, and that kind of captures exactly what we're talking about. He went on TV to assure everyone, and no one is assured. So what is your take on what's going on? What happened yesterday?
Not sure what the hiccups were about. I got a good connection here, and it's got to be Rumble.
and what does it mean for the future?
Well, I'll start off by referring to Biden's announcement, because I think there was a president in early 1930 said, "Everything is fine. Everything is fine. There will be a chicken
wait,
in every
wait.
pot."
Let me get some
And I
forms
think he
loaded
went
for you,
down,
and then we'll have you
in
log back in. I got to
infamy.
just make a
And
quick
that,
switch
of
here
course, was
first.
Hoover was optimistic. But that's their job. They have to pump up the people. And even when things look pretty good, it's always pumping over and above, reality. And that's how some of these systems last so long. And because deception is a great tool, because if people believe and trust in a system, it can go a long way. But it shouldn't surprise a whole lot of people that we have these crises in spite of all the rules and regulations and unlimited credit. And everybody's watching, and all those Congress people, they're watching it to prevent this. And there's been so many promises. But to see a run on the bank, I sort of fascinated with it, because they think they can stop it. And they may have temporarily stopped the run on the bank because they had to promise everything to everybody. I don't think, I've seen statements there that coming from the FDIC, nobody's going to lose any money. Nobody's going to lose any money. I think if they wouldn't have done that, things would have gotten much worse. But by doing what they're doing, it's sort of like the drug addict, is coming up. Please save my life. And boy, they give him a shot, and he's doing better. But the drug addict ended up out in the street. And I think of the people that are out in the street right now is multiple causes for people living on the street, but it definitely has something to do with the economy. And so the bubble economy comes from inflating the currency, deceiving the people with low interest rates, pumping up the statistics, and finally the market speaks. When I became fascinated with the markets, it was in the 60s. When they talked about the abuse of the Bretton Woods standard, because we
you won't have
had
to do everything all over.
reserve currency.
You just
We
did the
said, we'll
stuff
keep
back
the-
in July
we'll keep the
last
dollar
year.
$35 an ounce.
We're
Well, a
just
lot
going
of
to do
people did it a
I-9.
long time before that. We're printing
tax
so
forms,
much money,
stuff like
it's going to break down. No,
You
we're
just
going to
did lockout,
always
tag
honor
out,
our
and all that
dollar
good.
until 1971, which means that there was a contest going on there. Common sense by the people who are knowledgeable. They were saying this can't last, versus the people who want to maintain the organization and the international financial community. And so the market always wants to deflate. Governments always want to inflate to calm the markets. And they can do that until the people lose confidence in the currency. And individual companies can do this, countries can do this, and but the most threatening thing to the world economy is when somebody has a big stake in the economy, like we do, and the dollar is sort of universal. And when that currency comes under attack, that is a big deal. And we saw the initiation of a big deal, and we've had bits and pieces of that all along. So the warning's out there. But even today, things are a little bit settled. I don't think people are rushing to the banks right now to get their currency. But I'll tell you what, I'll bet there's a few people worried about it when they see these big banks with a lot of money. But big question right now, Daniel, is who's really insured? It's supposed to be, well, if you have $250,000,
Okay,
you're insured.
go ahead and click employee
Then
log
there's
in and log
question of
back
the
in.
technicalities, how many names are on the bill. But the government today, I saw one announcement, everybody's going to get their money back.
Yeah.
So that's why I've always said, and you've heard me say it, that inflation will win out over deflation, because the debt has to be liquidated and confidence in the money will be lost. And I think that's what we're witnessing, the beginning maybe of the final end of this.
That's the strange thing, because they didn't want, you can't say the word bailout. This is not a bailout. Biden was so adamant about saying. And let's go ahead and skip one and go to the next clip if you can. One instead, their regulators offered solutions. There we go. So this is the Wall Street Journal again talking about what Biden is doing about the bank. And he said regulators offer solutions that bail out even uninsured bank depositors, as you mentioned, and other banks at unknown costs that Biden isn't acknowledging. Take Mr. Biden's pledge that no losses will be borne by the taxpayers. That seems like a fraud. He said the money's going to come from the fees that banks pay into the deposit insurance fund. The Wall Street Journal calls his bluff on this and says that's not really the case. This insurance only covers part of it. So what does this mean when basically everyone gets their money? Don't worry about it. So if I had a couple $1 million in this bank, I would feel a lot more relieved if I like my own account, I have about $10 in the bank.
But the lying continues. It's the fudging and trying to tell the people to calm down. They have to fib a little bit. They wouldn't call it lying, of course, and to calm the markets because there's a psychological factor because people do panic. Bank runs are panic, but they're legitimate, and because originally nobody got anything, but now they have decided that if necessary, we will send out the helicopters. We're going to send helicopters out, and that's exactly what they did with COVID. Just think of the trillions of dollars that they passed out under COVID, and that was by the conservatives. That's what they did. But then they have to continue to reassure the people, like today, the CPI came out, and they said, "Oh, just as we expected." There was 6%. The core inflation is not so bad, and it was exactly what was predicted. And the reaction has been, not too bad because it looks like interest rates won't go up anymore now. See, that was the market winning over. So everybody knows, well, they can't raise interest rates now. So the stock market skyrockets, and that's not real value at all. It's just manipulation. But the thing about this CPI that they use that to manipulate and set how fast they should run the printing presses. And now they're working real hard. They monkeyed around and they got the prices going up probably 10 or 12%, and they're aiming to get 2% price inflation. So they're working on that. But the 6% today, wow, is terrible. But it's not maybe as bad as it really is because if you look at food, it's like 50%.
Yeah.
So if they exclude two items when they present the core rate, that's the only thing that counts. But the core rate, which should be the most important, they should report only the things they exclude because it's food and energy.
Food and energy. Yeah, I saw that.
That is removed, and it's not so bad. But you can't keep fooling the housewife.
Yeah.
The person that does the shopping. Yeah. It's just is all fake. And that's what happens. There's fake, then there's the panic, then there's the question, will the lying and the innuendos and the promises of the printing presses running, will it work? And it'll work to a degree because they can't see it. They've just gotten a shot of heroin. And the economy is slightly improved today, but the fundamentals are gone. And this is why I sort of poke a little fun at that is the statement that capitalism is breaking down before our eyes. I think it broke down in 1913. That's when the real predictions occurred. And then, of course, 1971 was the first blatant announcement that we were bankrupt because we didn't honor our commitment. Yeah. We defaulted. And that's when they closed the gold window, and they did that for 40 years, and they're still struggling. But they don't. People, there are some who are talking about it. There's some central banks have actually gotten frightened enough that they're actually buying gold. Yeah. But it's going. The problem is that it can be resolved. We'll go through the ringer. The market could help us, but will be a liquidation of debt. You can't be totally in debt and then go to real wealth and ask them for more money. It doesn't.
There is late entry.
The market
guys.
doesn't work
There's
that
more three
way.
people
So
here.
they're totally have to.
Matt, room is set up.
Expect the liquidation of debt will continue. In my prediction, has always been it will be through inflation, the destruction of the value of the money, because they're always going to do exactly what they did today and yesterday.
Yeah. I had a couple of other things. If we can put up that next clip I was wondering about. Now, this is about the exception that we talk about, and it just strikes some people as unfair. Actually, do the next one if you can. No, go back one and go back two, actually. Sorry, there we go. There we go. Now, so this is the Wall Street Journal, and it's interesting how they frame this because it has a political dimension. I think that is certainly the undertone or theme of the editorial in the Wall Street Journal. It said, yet after venture capitalists, and they have in parentheses Democratic donors, and Silicon Valley politicians howled, the FDIC announced Sunday it would cover the uninsured deposits under its systemic risk exception. Apparently, Silicon Valley investors and startups are too big to lose money when they take risks. They benefited enormously from the Fed's pandemic liquidity hose, which caused Silicon Valley Bank's deposits to double between 20 and 21. I think you would talk about that doubling being artificial, and it paid a high interest of 5.28 on large deposits. So the market was distorted by this huge amount of money going in under the auspices of the pandemic. It enriched all of these Silicon Valley investors, the bubble, the tech bubble. I think you wrote about it last week in your column, the tech bubble, which went into this bank. And now all of this, when it's collapsing, they're still going to get their money out of it.
That's right. It really, the political thing that goes on is who are the victims and who are the beneficiaries. So who were the beneficiaries, you know, for the 30 or 40 or 50 years where people were tolerating this, and it was usually the wealthy people doing it, and it looks like they are able to skirt, you know, the real damage. Because even if you don't have money in the bank, they can get to the middle class and the poor because of what I mentioned earlier on. The prices of food and energy may go up 20 and 30%, and they have trouble living, and housing is a very expensive item, and that makes a big difference. So the middle class usually suffers on this. I do want to mention two other things that are just general principles that would be needed to be addressed someday when we have monetary reform, and the founders understood it. And that was, if you have a money, a currency that you want to use, you have to be able to define it. And that is called the unit of account. And there was a precise weight of silver that was designed by the founders, what would make up $1. But we lost that, and the final loss of it was when took the gold away from the people. And that's creeping back in because a lot more people are recognizing that. Okay. But the other thing is more invisible, and people can't see it. Most people understand the printing of money. You're passing out this money. But even that is a little confusing.
Who's this?
Confusing because
yeah, there's an issue with her.
Don't print the money anymore. It
keeps coming back. I mean, has it been resolved with the Social Security office?
There, and they create digits, and that is an easy job.
I don't know what's going on, but
to inflate. That's
I mean, I can't start her back up unless I can run it, and
they don't talk about
whatever she has for her idea will work.
Fractional reserve banking.
It keeps coming back non-confirmation.
I'm your banker.
I mean,
I put in 100, and you put it in.
It is what it is, and as long as she gets that resolved with them.
Right. I mean, they
agreement. Okay, you can borrow, loan it out, and we will share the benefits.
Well, yeah, I mean that's because they tried running it, and for some reason in our system, her first and last name were backwards for some reason. And
they
wouldn't work
hold money. And one general rule they generally have is
they said that everything should be working fine.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's just they're having trouble with that. So she was wondering if she could just go into the agent, like just.
Well, like I said, I would still have to because it's a new start again. I would have to run that, and if it doesn't come back approved, she has to get that resolved with that.
Right.
So I would need to see her IDs and stuff again.
To see them again.
Yeah.
Okay. ¿Quieres todo tu comunicación contigo? De lo mismo. Las mismas documentos que tenías de la otra vez. Okay. So she does have them with her right now.
Okay. I can scan them real quick, and I can run it, and then I can just I mean, literally, I would have to just call you guys and let her know to start back up once it gets approved.
Okay.
All right.
May I have a
And that depends on the circumstances. If they get the $100, they loan out $700. It's just sevenfold increase. It's all insured, and it's all.
Until what time are you here today?
Probably at least till 5.
Till 5.
Yeah, I just coming in later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been coming in late because I have to go cover one of our other sites down in Toledo at night. So starting later, I don't get here till almost 1 o'clock. So.
Oh, okay, so we'll be back.
No worries.
She's gonna
Yeah, like I said, I'll run it. Usually takes less than a day for it to come back, and as long as it comes back good, we can start her back up. I don't care.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sounds good.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, well, that helped the economy. You could buy more cars and more houses. Prices will go up.
Good bucks,
a little
lady.
bit. So it's very enticing. I think the analogy of the drug addiction is just perfect because it sounds like wonderful. You're always feeling better with these drugs until you die.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if you and I did that, we'd go to jail.
Yeah.
I had one other little thing, if you don't mind, and this is an old colleague of yours who I think you had a lot of respect for, and that was Barney Frank. Now, he went on to get on the, and you disagreed on some things, but you agreed on some other ones as well, and he actually helped you get.
Let me see what you got.
Sorry about that. When the Republicans wouldn't help you.
Yeah, we just need to go through. Now, the pending review just means I just
he's
have to
on
do
the
my
board of
portion of
Signature
it.
Bank, and
So
they
you're
also
good.
failed over
Yeah.
the weekend.
Be out there.
And it's interesting because.
And then we just have to
Wall
update
Street
the safety paperwork.
Journal points
I'll
out
just
that
have you
Biden White House is playing
there.
politics with this. Surprise,
First,
surprise.
sign offs.
But it's interesting the debate about Signature Bank because apparently there was under the Trump administration, there was a slight change in the Dodd-Frank banking rules that made it a little easier for smaller banks to compete.
I don't know why this is coming through so hiccupy. Take it off full. I don't know what's going on.
It got rid of a lot of the paperwork so they could compete with bigger banks. And now Barney Frank said that had nothing to do with the Signature Bank collapse. But the Biden White House is saying, well, it was all Trump's fault because he got rid of all the regulations in the banking. So I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, and I would have trouble with Barney on, deregulating.
Yeah.
He liked regulations, and the principle in Washington is the Fed does this thing, and they're the smart people that manage the money supply, but they also realize that it has to be regulated and modified. So they're big regulators. At the beginning, all they had to do was define the currency and keep it from inflating and destroying the value. But now they're the architects of all the regulation. Nobody's complaining about to the Congress, not much anyway. They're complaining about the feds didn't regulate enough, and how are they going to regulate it and get us out of this mess? It's all because they refuse to accept the honesty of money because it limits. One of those common things that they have, and it's called fraud. Yeah. There's a limitation on fraud and counterfeiting. This is legalized counterfeiting is how it works. Counterfeiters, until they get caught, and some of them never get caught, but until they get caught, they do pretty well. Yeah. If people don't identify it, they can go out and buy a lot of stuff, but this is what happens. This is why it's sort of an irony that those wealthy people in the bank in Silicon Valley, they all of a sudden they're under the gun, but it looks like they're going to save their skin.
Yeah, on anyone else's back. Well, I had a couple quick clips. This is from a New York article, and just to demonstrate what happened after Biden reinsured us. If we can go to that next clip, these are all the banks and what their stocks did after Biden was supposed to make us feel better. I'm not going to read them all, of course, but it goes from the Western Alliance Bank Corporation. They were down 47%. PacWest Bank down 21%. First Republic Bank common stock down 62%. So here's a whole page, and do the next one. There's another whole page, of the small banks that really fell apart. If you can do that next page, fell apart after. Though you can go back on that one. There we go. After the president reassured them. We're going to move on now to a couple of other relatively minor things compared to the bank collapses. But I do want to say first, this is a good time to thank our sponsor for Patriots.com, the number 4 Patriots.com. I mean, the things that we cover in the show should sell these survival foods without us having to say anything, because we see what's happening to these local banks. We see what's happening to people's money. As Dr. Paul says, the Fed's not going to be able to bail everyone out forever. So what you need to do is take care of yourself and your family. And a great way to do that is to take care of your food needs. Breakfasts, lunches, and dinners are available at 4 Patriots.
Talk about it tomorrow, maybe,
Yeah,
the way the things are going. So another protest. We didn't go to this one, but we cheered them on. We hope a lot of people show up, because their platform is not exactly as I would write it, but it's darn close.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, this coalition is coming together. This is meant to be a coalition of the progressives and libertarian types and independents. Just look at the first couple things on their agenda. Peace in Ukraine, abolish NATO. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Fund people's needs, not the war machine. No war with China.
Yeah.
That's a good idea too. And so there's several other there, but just the fact that I think it should be seen in context of what we participated in here a few weeks ago. That the rally that we went to up in Washington, and now there's another one. So I think numbers are important, and there'll be people, even at our conference that we attended. The one thing we avoided was trying to get, a litmus test.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you going to do about taxes? And maybe I should have said, what are you going to do with the Fed?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it wasn't that interesting when I talked, heroes anti-war rally, but it was appropriate because we got the chant and the Fed.
That's right.
And that is true. So, but I think it's good that they're doing it. I hope the crowd is loud, and I hope somebody's planning the next one.
Yes. Yeah, and we can even put that up. This is from our friends at antiwar.com. They're announcing this rally. It's on the 18th in front of the White House. And as you say, Dr. Paul, it's the left coalition. It's the Answer Coalition, Black Alliance for Peace, Code Pink, et cetera, et cetera. I think our rally was a little bit more broad-based because it explicitly brought together libertarians, liberals, and conservatives. But nevertheless, as you say, we wish them well. The more the merrier, the more the better. And I have to say, if you go to the next one, their demands, and you read a couple of them, they're not as bad as I feared they might be, because a lot of times when some of these left coalitions get together, they'll put everything but the kitchen sink in there. This one is pretty concise. You're right. Peace in Ukraine, abolish NATO. That sounds good. End U.S. militarism and sanctions. That's good. No war with China. Now, people have said that's really great that they mentioned that, because a lot of the people on the right are with us on Ukraine, but they're with us because they'd rather go to war with China. The end U.S. aid to racist apartheid Israel, I don't think we would put it that way, because it doesn't matter what the nature of the country is. It's the U.S. aid that's the problem. We talked about that before, and that gets you out of problems. And there are a couple of other ones. And AFRICOM, that's great. End the siege on Syria, free political prisoners. So overall, it's a good message. It's a positive message. The one thing you can say about the Answer Coalition is that they're very good at organizing. They know how to get buses together. They know how to bring people together. So I hope it's great. I hope our guys have another rally or something of nature. And I just got an email from Nick, who was one of the organizers, with some of the things they have planned in the future. So it's a very, very positive thing. So I think something to be optimistic about. The final thing we wanted to do is if you're done with this topic, is kind of an update on a story that we covered a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
And if you can put that next clip up. This is the Homeland Security Department. And we talked about how they've started spying on Americans. I know it was shocking, Dr. Paul, because you never expected that when they wanted to vote on it. But now the GOP, the Republicans in charge of the House, are looking into it. And I think that's a positive thing, Dr. Paul, because it does seem like they are getting out.
More details. Yep. Yep. So you're gonna go ahead of me? Behind me? Okay. All right. So we're gonna start going, guys.
All set? All right,
Yeah,
I got
been there,
some
now.
other
Go.
stuff here for you. Give me a second.
Okay. Oh, I need the subpoena, man. Yeah, yep. I want to show everybody what our official business is.
There's the handbook, and then there's just got to fill out that safety stuff.
Okay, everybody, I'm going to show you guys what we're coming for. We're going to be serving this subpoena. Yeah, I'll give them a little information about. So there is a woman named Nicole Hotz right here. Nicole Hotz is, what's her job title, Casey? She is an investigator.
We will set another
and
one.
her job is to watch these
496,
live.
it's hard to
She's
beat.
probably watching right now. And Nicole, if you are watching, I just want to let you know my goal is to walk in, hand this paper, and walk out. It can be a 60-second deal if you want it to be a 60-second deal. And that's what I want it to be, is a 60-second deal, Nicole. So, anyways, guys, so you guys listening, Nicole Hotz, her job is to watch Afroman's YouTube channel and all that. So we're going to be serving her a subpoena for court. Can you guys read that okay? Is that clear? Is the paper clear for you guys? Can you guys see it okay? Clear? Okay, cool. So you guys can go back. Well, let's not even tell them, because you know they're listening.
House,
so just know I'm not alone,
I didn't think
guys.
you
Not going to give you any other detail. Not alone, guys. Not going to give you any other details about what not alone means, but not alone. Oh, it's funny, engineer. Yeah, yep. Both watch Afro while at work. Yep. Because we're going to get the policies to find. We're going to find out if it's actually their job or not to be watching social media. Oh, but I got to make sure the GoPro is actually on. Oh shit, guys, hold on. I'm having some issues with the GoPro. Oh, shit. Might have put the wrong battery in it, guys. Just a sec, guys. I put the wrong battery in the GoPro. Gotta come back real quick. GoPro makes a really nice camera, but the battery, I put the wrong battery in the GoPro. Yeah.
No, I'm trying to bluff. Battling back.
What if I got...
Yeah. He said wrong battery. Who knows what that means? Well, get them get the 3.
We had multiple, you know. Sorry about that, guys. This is try number 2 for the Marion Police Department. I put the GoPro together without a battery inside of it. He has a pick for his fro. Oh, the subpoena. Wait, do I have the subpoena? Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. It's number 3. Subpoena. Yeah, it's probably in the car. Trunk. That was not good. Okay.
He's struggling.
That was smart. Okay, cool. First try is a
apple
charm.
pie.
Subpoena. It's a charm. Subpoena. Oh shit, my charge cord broke. Oh no, hold on guys. Now I gotta change out the charge cord. I'm real sorry for all these delays, but you can rewind and see the subpoena. Oh, did it break off inside? I hope not. Oh, it did. Oh, but I pulled it out. Cool. Okay.
Really?
Okay, guys, got the subpoena right here. Yep, they're probably going to get the cops involved, but yeah, this is what we're going to be serving here today, guys. You can rewind and get a better. This is who we're serving it to, Nicole Hotz. You can rewind and get a better view of it.
Nothing. She said to get back with her next week. She just sent me an email saying get back with me at the beginning of next week. She'll know more. Yep. I've made mead before, no mercy, but I've never distilled.
Man. It's a long walk out here, guys.
But it's like wine. It's like a honey wine.
So if you guys are just tuning in, we're going to the Marion Iowa Police Department to serve a subpoena for Nicole Hotz.
Sounds like they're
What
coming.
does it say here? If it were me, I'd put my index finger right on the brown eye, all this stuff. I want to repeat that, but I think they're going to hold that against me. But I agree with you, engineer. And they've been fighting us all day, guys. I don't know if you guys tuned in yesterday. They were fighting us yesterday, too. You know, all these authority figures, they'll give you a subpoena and expect you to just instantly comply. But when the subpoena goes the other way, you know, it's a whole new ball game. And if you guys want to know too, you know, like some of the stuff that Dan said, Dan speaks the truth. And when he says things like, oh, I'm going to find out where you live and film outside your house, it's for reasons like we go to serve a subpoena and they don't want to take the subpoena. So, you know, we just got to serve them. And if they take the subpoena at their job, we wouldn't have to serve them at their house. I've served people at their houses before. And it's like, I'm not trying to be the guy at your house, but if you're going to force me to do that, then the subpoena will get served, you know? So I hope they make this easy.
Nobody welcomed the wife when she came in. Thanks, no mercy.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a little break right here. We are going to the Marion, Iowa Police Department. So, yeah. Hey, Grandma is looking for a baggie with a little Coke in it. Oh, Dan, you're saying to not tell him?
Wrong chat, Matt.
Let me get the chat back up. Dan, you're saying don't tell him. Snarky user saying there's a dude with a roof optics. There's a dude on the roof with optics. There might be. It wouldn't surprise me. They would 100% charge you with a crime if there was anything on the paper. Yeah, they're all about crimes, guys. But for all you in here watching, including any police officers that think I'm here to commit a crime, here to serve a subpoena, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's my purpose of this visit here at the Marion, Iowa Police Department. Now, the easy way, optimistically, this could be done in under a minute. Pessimistically, it might be an hour. Personally, I want to serve this in 1 minute and get the fuck out of here. That's really my goal. But it's all up to them guys. You know, they decide how long everything takes. You know, and just from past experience, I mean, you guys have been in here. You've seen how long shit takes in here. So we're gonna go back in, ladies and gentlemen. Snarky, I don't want to know. I don't want to know whether she's hot or not. I don't even want to look at her. Like, I just want to serve and leave. I just want to serve and leave. I see 40 of you guys in here and 31 likes. If you guys wouldn't mind getting some more nerds in here by hitting the like, I'd greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I don't want to know anything about her. What's up, Scooter? I want to get in and out, guys. Like, I can't emphasize how much, like, I don't want to be in here. Don't get shot. And the department, guys, it's a violent department. It's all about revenue, and then more revenue. Yeah, I mean, guys, just so you guys know, you say you got my back, brother. I appreciate it. I know when Flex got sent to jail, you guys bailed him out, and that's really cool. So he appreciates that. And if you guys need to bail me out, I'm at the Marion, Iowa Police Department. I repeat, Marion, Iowa Police Department. Yeah, that is a memo from a lot of departments. Yeah, it's sad, you know. And the thing that really kind of gets on my nerves, maybe this is my personal feelings, is that they take your time too. Like, if I racked up how long it takes to pick up one piece of paper or to turn in one piece of paper, it's a lot of time. You know, there's no reason why they can't streamline this and make this a lot easier. Like, I'll give you guys an example. Nicole Eels, the records clerk, sent me a email saying that one piece of paper is ready to pick up. So I drove all the way over here, went to the records window, then had to go to the other window. And it's just like, what the fuck? I don't need to ask 20,000 questions, or I don't need to answer 20,000 questions. You just hand me the paper and I leave. That's, you know, that's the goal every time I come here, guys, just in and out. I want this to be an in and out procedure, guys. I really don't want to be here, because they try to say that, oh, you don't have a legitimate purpose. But in order to complete my legitimate purpose, I need to stay here until things get done. I need to stay here until things get completed. And they just fight. What's up, Secret Agent? Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to the Marion, Iowa Police Department.
We'll start another one, Jesse.
And I want to be in and out, guys. I really do. But there's always questions. There's always, let me transfer you. Mark F, yeah, then it took an hour to get the page of paper. Yeah, an hour. Can you guys believe that? And then they cry that, oh, you don't have a reason to be here. Yeah, I hear you, Dan. Make sure the chief doesn't touch you. He'll probably have his thugs do his dirty work. You know, like these organized mobsters. They don't do the dirt themselves. They just order the hits. They don't actually pull the trigger themselves. That's why you got Sergeant Hartwick, or sometimes I call him Sergeant Ballick. He comes out and he initiates the dirty work. Never mind, you're too young. Oh, Dan, I'm not even gonna. There's a lot of things you guys say in the chat here that, like, I want to repeat what you're typing, but if I do, they're gonna hold it against me. So, yeah. for you guys that are just tuning in, just so they don't charge me with willful disturbance or harassment or all those other bogus fucking feelings charges, I am here for a purpose, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to serve this subpoena right here. I'm going to serve it to Nicole Hotz. And God, I hope she just comes out or somebody takes it on her behalf and it's just done. Like, I want to be in and out, guys, in 60 seconds. That's my goal.
How many times
And
is
if
he
you
going to
guys are
say that?
wondering, this is just like the
We
Lake
know
County
where
Attorney's
department
Office,
he's
where
at, but
there's
no one knows his real
trespasses.
name. So who
I'm
are you
sorry,
going
no,
to
there's
call?
a no contact order
Who
that
are you
they
going to speak
have
to? Who are you
out
going to bail
against
out?
Casey.
Nobody knows his real name.
So I need to not violate the no contact order while I'm serving these people. And as you probably already know, they hide behind glass. So this is going to be some shenanigans because I don't know who I'm talking to. So I'm going to be talking to tinted glass, and I'm going to have to make sure that I'm not going to contact anybody on his behalf. And just to be clear, I am not contacting anybody in the department on Casey's behalf. Remember that, guys. I'm not. I'm here to serve the subpoena and get the fuck out of here. Transparency line, you there for a legal purpose? Yes, but Casey was too. You know, here they don't give a fuck. They'll just put you in cuffs. I mean, yeah, dude, I know I'm here to serve papers, but you know what they're going to say. You're here to make YouTube videos. You're here to harass. You're here to intimidate. I have a subpoena, guys. I want to get in and get out. I do not want to be here all day. Okay. I really don't.
Don't take
And
all
what they
day to
do
get
is
there.
they waste all your time. And then it
Like
does
you're
get me a
doing
little
now.
pissed off, you know, when I just can't take the paper or serve the paper or whatever. That's a former FBI Hoover guy, cross-dresser. That's funny. Yep, we're going to go in, guys. And you know it is my goal to be in and out in 60 fucking seconds. Like, I do not want to be in here at all.
No, he wants to. He wouldn't have made it so dramatic.
Oh, imagine that the records window is closed. Wow. Everything's closed. Up, and they're closing the blinds right now. Can you guys see that? The blinds were open, and now they're shutting them. You know, and this is how they do it. Blinds are open when you walk in, and they're shut. I'm sorry, the blinds are open before you walk in, and then they shut them after you walk in. So that's already a fight, guys.
It's a clown show.
That's just the first FU that
I've been with this channel since Flex had it, so since old Bo had it.
So were you guys able to see that the blinds were initially open and they were shut? Because that's what we're trying to establish here, is that these windows are open for business until somebody comes in they don't like, and then they shut them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to, just be done. Just rung the button. So this is my business, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to get this done. I want to be in. Just want to get this done.
That's killing us, man.
And I want to be out. I'm not here to do anything other than that. So I'm going to put it down for you guys to watch. I heard them say Casey Van Neville is here. So I just want to serve the subpoena, guys. They haven't responded yet. They're talking about Casey being outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. But they're looking out the window, but they're not responding to the buzzer that I just pushed. I just want to serve this
Sarah
subpoena and
Kahneman.
leave, guys. That's the goal. I can hear them in there. They haven't responded to me hitting the button yet. I don't want to hit it again, but I hear them talking in there. They know I'm here. I'm just getting ignored. I got to readjust this. This is the Marion, Iowa Police Department, guys. Yes, ma'am. I am hoping to speak with Nicole Hotz, H-O-T-Z. She's not here today. Can I get your name and badge number, please? 903. So I talked to you last time. So, see, I cannot violate. I need to know if you're on the no contact order or not. So I cannot contact two people in this department on Casey's behalf, and that's not my goal here. And if I tell you what my business is and you're on that order, then it's going to violate it. What? I don't even want to say. Because I can't identify you. I looked through my names and badge numbers that I got from City Hall, and your PIN number is not on that list. So I'd like to talk to somebody I can identify, and I can explain to them once I can identify them what my business is. It is a legal business. I'm being forced to be here right now. I'm not going to confirm or deny because you might be on the no contact order, and I'm not going to violate that no contact order. What's your name? I can't identify that, ma'am. I went to City Hall, got the names and badge numbers, and your badge number is not on that list, so I cannot identify you.
Then she's not on the order. GG, Matt. I'll set up a new one.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm trying to get out of here. I really am. I want to leave this place.
All right, let me take a look.
So, guys, that was another failure to identify. I don't. Yes. Okay, 149. What's your name? F-O-R-T? Can I get your first name? Phil. F-O-R-T 149. And you're not on the no contact order. Because, yeah, there's women on the no contact order. So since you're a man, that means you can't be. Okay. My goal is to get in and out of here, sir. I want to be gone as soon as I can. I'm here to serve a subpoena for Nicole Hotz. Okay, thank you. So I want to get out of here, guys. I really do. Like, I just want to serve and leave, right? Serve and leave. That's the goal. Well, that's the thing, Dan. You don't even know whether someone's a man or a woman because you're talking to glass. You know, I'm just trying to identify so I can adhere to the. This is literally entrapment. That's what it is. And if you guys are wondering about the records window, I'm not even going to bother trying because.
No food in your locker, okay? There's a spot in the break room for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what tripped me up, man.
Yeah.
I was all
It's all right.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Commonly
How
missed.
you doing today? You're, okay.
Corrected as easily as that.
I need to make sure this is served correctly and properly, and I'm not going to pay you to do this either.
That'd be good. We take them one time. I'll get it to the place nearest to go, and we'll get her served.
Okay.
She's off. She's back.
Sir, you know I hear that every time I come in here, 100% of the time.
I oversee. I'm part of the patrol division. You're good. She's not here.
Because the sheriff's office wanted $60. I just to be clear, I'm not paying you $60 to serve a subpoena in this building.
All right, when you want to get started?
Thank you, sir. I'm out of here. Have a good day, sir.
Absolutely.
What time?
5 a.m.
Put my stuff on.
Yep.
And it's until 10-hour shift.
Yeah, 3:30.
While I'm getting my
Yeah,
stuff
with
on.
lunch, it's 3:30. Yeah.
cool. Thank you, Norm.
Yeah, take that with you. That's your handbook. If anything changes, just shoot me a text message. If you're ever going to be late or if you're not going to be able to make it, just text the office number.
All right.
Do you have one of my cards?
Yeah, let me get that.
All right.
Mama did.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Hey, like I said, if maybe a question or something like that comes up later that you forgot to ask, just shoot me a message as soon as I'm able to. I'll answer you.
All right. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Good luck.
Yeah, you too.
So
Me too.
before we leave, you guys,
Let's set it up for
Yes.
2:30.
you know, this is the new
15:30.
records window every single day. It's
My
window
time.
every single day.
And create. Confirm.
We are leaving.
List.
I wasn't
All
playing
right.
about 60 seconds
Game
ago.
is up. 15 minutes, guys.
I don't come here because I want to come here.
Yeah, you got them all.
Because I need to come
Good
here.
game for you, Matt.
And when they do their job right away, it's a real quick in and out deal. If you see
Yeah,
me
you
here
made it
for
last
2
as
hours
long as
on end,
possible.
it's not
That's
because
because
I
you
want to
talked
be here
for
for 2 hours. It's because
Bullshit.
they're forcing me to be here.
No one's
they don't want
forcing
them to
you
do
to do
their job.
anything.
So
He is-
thank you
he
for
is
tuning in,
pretty
guys.
melodramatic.
I see
I'll be right
90
back.
of you in here. I see 56 likes. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, please, to help some more nerds. Maybe we can break 100, guys. But we are getting the hell out of here. We have some more
Yeah.
subpoenas to serve with the
Yeah,
Afro.
he's pretty
We're going to be
dramatic.
going down to the juvenile complex.
You do a
to
new
serve
stream for
another
that?
Subpoena.
Let me see what else is going on.
We
'Cause
did.
I think
Are we all done?
Russell's stream is just about done,
we
so we'll
still
be able
got
to
to
play
go
that.
file that complaint to the police department. $20 return services. Well, that's a cool. We got to go file that complaint because I told him yesterday I'm going to do it, and I want them to know that I'm not playing. Yeah. So we're
This
going to go to
live
the
is-
Cedar Rapids, Iowa Police Department, guys.
Does it say it's only 10 seconds?
Hold on, I want to plug this in.
I was out
since
here
we're-
just asking them, hey, what's going on in there? and everything. So they let me know, and then they're like, yeah,
Oh no, it's good.
papers are served. So I'm like, hell yeah.
I don't like see that's how
Hell yeah.
I don't like see that's how it could be at the police department, like in and out. But they don't want that. They do not want anything in and out. They want what's your name, what's your business, what is this? Ask the same
I don't
question
think you've
again.
asked that, and yes, I
You
have.
know, they could just walk out.
And in
take the
fact,
paper,
that
and leave.
the Hispanic girl that was in here earlier, that got hired in by the client, and then she couldn't pass her I-9 with them. Tried using hers as well, and for some reason it's not working. So not sure, but yeah, I've several passports. Some people just choose not to get a state ID, or they've got a passport after their last state ID expired, and they want to use that. And in fact, you don't need two pieces of ID with a passport. A passport in itself is all you need for an I-9. That's what they call an A-list document.
Oh shoot, we got somebody, guys, that's coming into the police
No,
department.
Entertainment.
What's that sound?
Drop the link.
Farm.
This video, you're going to see the picture.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining us on Stay Free with Russell Brand. Wherever you're watching us now, the whole show is available exclusively on Rumble for the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, I had mine taken away in 2008, and I don't know if I would be able to get one back or not.
For you that simply cannot be said out loud on heavily regulated platforms. Some things need a lot of regulation. For example, the banking system might benefit from some regulation, but broadcasting, why? The only regulation required is your own principles and your own morality. Where do you stand on the subject of free speech? If you stand alongside us, believing that free speech will lead to open conversation, deeper communication, new connections, and ultimately revolution, then you can join us on Rumble and even join our locals community.
New game's up.
Access to a whole bunch of stuff, including my stand-up special, Brandemic, available now. Super funny.
Yeah.
Go for a one-off price of $20, or you can become an annual member and get all sorts of content for us. Unless, of course, you're worried that
Yeah, mine was confiscated in 2008.
Financial collapse is the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, the imprimatur of 2008 part 2. Because you remember how they dealt with can't happen again, can it? Surely they learned their lesson. Surely you couldn't get the very same people that were involved in clearing up that mess as were the very people that created it. Surely you wouldn't get people to introduce regulation, then reverse that regulation. That would be absolutely crazy. We'll be talking to Ryan Grimm from The Intercept about the banking collapse and
10 minutes, guys.
To lead us all. Then, once we're exclusively on Rumble,
Ooh, we got 5 in there now. Sweet.
Crazy stuff from Pfizer and January.
Anyone else? Is Dirty Dog still around?
Gonna absolutely love. I'll be talking about my appearances on Fox News, meeting Tucker Carlson, all of that stuff in our presentation.
Do a couple things forward.
Here's the effing news. But for a while, shall we just revel?
Oh, you got it.
Simplicity of the wonderful world of entertainment. It was the Oscars. Do you care about the Oscars anymore? Do you care? Did you ever care?
I think there will always be a bit of me that
cares a bit.
A little bit. It's nice, isn't it?
Do you think me not caring about the Oscars is spite and malice? Because I never got one, or the only time I was near one was when I was giving it to another person.
Did you want to give it to them?
I wanted to keep that, but I thought I can't in good faith keep this Oscar for best short film, as I haven't made any short films at all.
All right, we'll come back to Russell.
Oh, you took the day off, Caesar? Yeah, it's only going to be 1-2 days max during the day. And the other 2 nights are going to be at night. It's Friday and Saturday.
I appreciate the lack of information in there. So it's going to be kind of hard to prosecute someone or get charges when, you leave out pertinent information. All right? Yeah, I appreciate it. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Oh, no, you should probably quit. That is Officer Kefflinger. She is the one that wrote up the report at one government center. The security guard that said, she's the one that walked in and said, Mr. Collins, they don't want you here. You got to go. That video had an issue with the monetization of it. So what I have done is requested a manual review. Get some garbage up on here. The manual review was approved, so I'm gonna make it live today. So we're gonna see her again really, really soon. In fact, as soon as I get back in my vehicle, I'll make it public. So what's happening with my videos is they're all being throttled to be yellow unless I request a manual review. I did a live conspiracy, to use the word conspiracy on YouTube. And in that video, you don't hear me saying anything. You can just see me mouthing words. And in those words that I mouth, I make, oh, look, he's leaving. He's leaving. I mouth the word conspiracy. And the title says conspiracy, and there's conspiracy on the words on the screen. Well, it took 8 days for manual review of that one. Oh, look, they're leaving. It took 8 days for the manual review on that one. I'm cleaning up a little bit of garbage while I'm out here. Oh, sorry about the noise. Oh. So after that manual review was done, they completely throttled it because it's like 8 days and it didn't get put out properly, and it was just a joke. I bet you that other car went the other way. I don't know if there's a way out of here that way. This is my first time being all the way back in here. This is actually the dog area where the dog park is that Banana Anna and I met up.
I think so. He was with DMA and them last
Gia
night.
with her. And Gia wanted to make out with me very bad. So, I'm not going to turn down a pretty puppy. So let's see if this officer went. Oh, here's the garbage. Let me throw this garbage away right here. Sorry, guys. There's a bunch of garbage all over the place. And I try and clean up some garbage when I can. I can't see the screen to read the comments, guys. I got my sunglasses on, and it makes it very difficult to read. So,
All right. That's Great Lakes, guys.
I was
We're gonna
able
go
to
back
see the card number.
I tell you guys,
No
I got
Limit
the
Media.
worst luck, man. Gosh, when it comes to money shots,
Next,
we're good.
next level media. NECKS, next level media. Not next.
All right, guys. So they found the lady here. Oh, we got company. Actually,
4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes.
across the street. Hold on. Let me go across the street. I'll get a better shot over there. Hold on.
Don't Chuck Bronson it, man. Get out there.
Let me go over there real quick.
I'm fucking with him. I wouldn't get out in the rain either.
I gotta get by this guy real quick.
Not unless it's a film neck. Neck. Look at this link tree. It says that. Neck level. Next. NECKS
I'm
level.
gonna go across the street.
Entertainment.
I got the Met unit right there as well. So hold on, let me. What up, Steph? Yeah, now it's traffic and lights.
You're not involved. Confirm not involved. Do we have any calls? Well, 157, I'm controlling. QB? 148, copy, right at the Wiener Schnitzel. Here to see for further, it'll be for a 1-year-old juvenile, Tony James Hernandez at the Wiener Schnitzel, on copy.
Random nerve spasms, and that caused me to bite down on my cheek. And thank God this tooth broke, so I no longer bite down on my cheek until they replace the tooth. It caused a lump that was the size of about 2 jelly beans together. So they cut it off.
Yeah, especially
There's a
cold
hole.
wet. I don't mind
show
a
the hole 'cause it's
nice
pretty
warm
gnarly.
summertime storm, but
the hole in the
cold
inside
wet
where
is
they
worse than snow.
cauterize it and took a laser and cut it off. It smelled and tasted gross for several days, but it's been a week and I am still miserable. But yeah, that was fun. So now, if they're on lunch and all that, I don't care. I don't. They all get a lunch break, right? But I would guess hiding here, like she was just going on her phone. She was playing on her phone. She wasn't eating or anything like that. But as many calls as they get here, my hair is just absolute disaster. Do I have a head in here anymore? Usually I have a head like right next to me, just in case I forget one. But no, I took the
Yeah, GLA in portrait mode.
outside hat is inside. Oh well, let's do this. There we go. Oh, look at the white. Oh my god, look at the white hair coming in. Holy crap.
Shut up.
Not only am I going bald back here the way it says,
Not on
man, look at
top.
the white. So
On top.
yeah.
Cut
So
through
what's
32.
happening is I have found where they hide. I know I could probably my dress again. That's cold.
They hide the other
I could
side,
probably go
too.
right now and find another 2 cops hiding within Well, see, one's right across the river, like directly behind me across the river. Cops like to hide back there, and you see the little weird ass. Yeah, I know, old ass, right? Yeah, they hide exactly. I was just saying, like at the park down there by the river, there's these big berms, and there's these little paths that go behind it, and they can hide behind there very easily. We might. Let me make sure my Bluetooth is off here. Hold on. All right, Bluetooth is off. Music's gonna be playing. No music. No. Hold on. No. Volume all the way down. All right, let's go see if we can see them from this side of the river. So these crews here are downtown crews. Sometimes they use 4-sector crews, which is the east side, to come downtown. We might be able to see the other side of the river from here and see if. So let me show you something. Okay, here's where the bathroom is. So hold on. Let me show you before I go anywhere else. So there's the bathrooms. The men's room is this one right here. They were sitting over there. That's why I could see them when I was walking up. So, sorry, seeing a vehicle.
Nice hand,
one of
Jesse.
those Fords that look like the cop cars. No, I won't. I can't see that part of the river.
Jax.
Dang it. inDOCtriNATION, by the way, I sent your dono to them. Sent it last night because there were problems with their system. Yeah, it's right here. So let's see if we can see any from this side. You absolutely can see it. Awesome. Like I said, directly behind me. It was like directly behind me. So there is another park where they do party in the park. Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. You're only a couple years behind me, so I don't want to hear it. All right. Let's see if we can see any from over here. Turn this around. You guys can see this little park here. Ooh, that's very soft. I'm in flip-flops. That was nice, cold and wet. Ew. So that's the high-level bridge. It goes from downtown to the east side of Toledo. And right over here is where a lot of TPD traditionally has hidden away from the public. This area over there where you see the vehicles through at the tree line, that's where a lot of people hang out when it's nicer out, and cause of gunshots and a lot of stuff going on. Like one guy was taken by, if I remember correctly, 6 people thrown in the back of a car. They took off with them. Word was that one of them had an AK. So I actually went up and parked next to a sergeant, a TPD sergeant, and she goes, "We don't have the bodies for it." What is that right there? I can't zoom in. You see that bridge? That's a train bridge. Look at the very end of the bridge, the white dot. That looks like a TPD vehicle. I can't say for sure it is for certain, but that absolutely looks like a TPD vehicle. And then they like to hide. See that how it mounds right there by the river's edge? They like to hide along that edge line just below the ground and a little bit further down to where they got that little false wall. So they'll park the cars on this side of that little bushy area right there. And then they hide in over here. Then they'll drive down and all the way through, come over to here. But since they put those blocks up, those boulders right there, they can't do it anymore. That absolutely looks like a TPD vehicle over there, though. But yeah, this is the Maumee River, guys. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's nasty. It smells real bad. When it gets warm, it is pretty gnarly. And this fish caught out of this river has turned me off of fish for life when I was a little kid. So
I don't know if you can go upriver.
It's just getting worse.
Where I'm at, it's not that bad. I don't know why.
Out of here, we got plants that don't run off into it anymore. But I want to go down and.
I mean, it's going to be brown
Just
because
keep you
it's
guys live with me.
rushing. I
Let me
mean,
go
it's
see it.
really over the banks up the river
This is a
farther.
police vehicle down there. What time is it?
The vehicle's not that dirty, or the river's not that dirty.
Yeah, I home in time. Let's go see real quick. I got to, of course, check to make sure there's not any no trespassing signs, because that goes down into real property, which is federal property. Not federal property, but protected by federal police. And for those of you that don't know, railroad police are real police. They are federal officers. So don't push them. They have no chill.
Yeah.
whatsoever.
My son's
I
he's
was
a graffiti artist, so he's had to deal with
I
him
was
quite
a
a bit.
conductor for a rail company, and I was working in a rail yard. I didn't have anything that had any of my company insignia on me. We were told to always carry your badges with you. I left all my stuff in my box, in the engine, about a mile away. I'm walking through the yard. They come, they swarm up on me. Somebody called them. It's a yard that I didn't normally work. I normally work nights in that yard. It was daytime, so they come swarming on me. And they were not very cool about anything. So it was interesting. So I'm like, it's back on my engine. So pulled out my radio, called my engineer, and he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I'm like, "Can you do me a favor? Can you get my badge out of my box and read me my ID number off of there? That way they hear it from you and not from me." And me just trying to make up something. Yeah, we'll do. So I ended up getting put in their car. I was not put in handcuffs.
It's trespassing, Wolvie.
About the only thing nice that they did was not put me in handcuffs, but they were not very nice. And I get it. Oh my God, my flip-flops are all muddy. Oh, these things, so gross. I got mud on my feet. I gotta wash my feet now. Doggone it. Yeah, so no, I actually had that one that one on yesterday. And my kids' volleyball. Today is the beef. Broke the beef back out. I've been on a chicken kick for a while. But here's, in fact, hold on.
Ramen noodle jacket.
Here's the dog park where Banana Anna and I hung out for a little bit. And right over there's a parking area. And that's where Gia just totally went to town. Yeah, criminal trespassing is absolutely going to happen on rail property. They just see you walking down the, they just see you walking down the rail line, just walking on the railroad tracks. If you look at every crossing, there should be some kind of signage that says private property, no trespassing, things like that. So what originally grabbed my attention to all of this was a security vehicle for over here. There's a business. This business over here has security with green lights flashing. So I seen the security immediately followed by a police vehicle. So I'm like, oh, something's going on. That's where I want to turn. All right, yeah, something's going on. The cops aren't lights and sirens, but security had the lights running, which is normal. But you to see them like immediately behind it was a little different. So I went in, and the speed limit in there's 15. The cop was doing at least 25. He easily pulled away from me, and I have a new dash cam that has GPS on it, which also displays my speed on my dash cam, which it's right here. I don't know if you can see the corner here, but yeah, you can't. Yeah, there it is. Anyways, it's time, geolocation, and speed. It's got a front and a rear camera. App goes right to my phone. And I can download stuff right from my phone from this. All you do is just connect it through like a Wi-Fi. They call it a Wi-Fi connection, which is odd. I figured it'd be Bluetooth.
It's direct
easier,
Wi-Fi.
But
Direct Wi-Fi.
I'm not sure exactly what kind it is. It's actually I can tell you right now what it is. So let's turn it off. Veement. VEEMENT. VEEMENT.
I have a Nexar. It does the same thing.
There it goes. It's on sale right now. It's not that expensive. It's on sale. I don't know if the sale's still going, but it was originally like $80 or something like that. I think I got it for like 50. And my old dash cam had done me well, which had front and rear. It did me very well. But as much as I'm out and about, and I'm working on a new YouTube channel, and the new YouTube channel is going to be just dash cam stuff. Because I see, you would not believe the stuff I see on my dash cam. I get the stuff I see out driving. I do a lot of driving. The stuff that I see out driving is ridiculous. So I wanted to make sure that I had something with GPS on it. So the train bridge is down there. I still see a vehicle over there. If I remember correctly, that's Norfolk Southern. Yeah, it's a Norfolk Southern. Yeah, I think that's Norfolk Southern. I believe that's Norfolk Southern, the same company that derailed in East Palestine. It's the same one that runs that. Yeah, Wi-Fi Direct is faster, absolutely, but like everything is so much easier to do with Bluetooth. I would just mention me Bluetooth, but I can actually hook it up from inside my house. Like I can be in my house and hook up my phone to my dash cam, and I can record stuff that's going on. So, yeah, dude, I finally got the channel name all figured out. I'm gonna keep that separate. Frank, can you send Heather, can you send Frank my number if you've got it? Frank, email me, please. I got to talk to you about that stuff out there in the East Cleveland, the Cuyahoga County. There's a lot of cool stuff going on over there. So now we're going to go to the road it's called Miami Street. Yeah, I know. I should have gone around. I know these lights, and I still didn't do it. There's a way to have gotten a green light right here, but I didn't do it. So now we're going to go see if this is another cop hiding at this train bridge. Oh, man, that's so gross. Mud everywhere. Ugh. All right. We're actually pretty close to where this is at. I'm definitely going to be following up on that area down there. And if I remember correctly, they do a shift change. I think it's 2 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. 2 o'clock is their 12-hour shifts, or their 8-hour shifts. And they ask them to stay over for 4 hours. I think it goes to like 6. Not 100% positive, but I can always find out. It's not too hard to find that out. We've also got some video to do about my public records request at the city of Toledo. Now all of my public records requests go through the law department. All of them go through the law department now. So that's interesting. I can't wait for that to slow me down even further. I got an email today with a letter discussing some information. There's further actions required based off of the email that I got today about previous records request. So there's further legal action to be taken. Let's see, can I get through it? I haven't come down to this bridge in a vehicle, only on a car. So the cop should be the vehicle should be like right here to my right, immediately here to my right, immediately. I can't see it from there. There is a road that goes there, and it is not a cop car. All right, I can see in my mirror, it's not a cop car. It is a white Ford Edge, believe it or not, but it is not a cop car. So the Ford Edge is the SUV that the Toledo Police Department uses the most. That is not the case. That's not what that was. So I'm going to record until I'm out in Toledo, just to be safe. And I will be out of Toledo in just a few minutes. So we got a few more minutes. If anyone's got any questions, since I didn't read any content, any chat, now would be an okay time.
Yeah, man, sounded terror. GG University.
To do it, I'm waiting my turn to turn. Okay, I guess they're not going to go. I'll go. I guess I am not waiting my turn because they wouldn't go. We do have an update for court. My attorney has officially filed a notice of appeal, which means lost connection for a second. I'm gonna pull over real quick because I just got a text from one of my kids. So let's see. All right. All right. Hey, Mom, would you tell Alyssa that I said okay, please? Yeah, Heather's email is awesome. Yeah, it's my attorney has filed a notice to appear. My original attorney bailed on me because I wouldn't take the plea deal, which he told me. So he lied to the court, and he told me the week before he bailed on me that if I don't take this deal, he can't represent me any further. And this is the guy that I've used in the past a couple different times. And there was a plea deal that was in place that was offered to me. And I said no, because it has a waiver in it that signs away my rights to sue. And I am not going to get rid of my right to sue. So because of that, I said, if they get rid of that, I'd consider it. He's like, well, I don't want you to consider it. And then, a week from now, jerk me around. I was like, I don't know. And I had every intention of taking it if we could make an adjustment. And I'll be honest, it was a simple adjustment that would have not had the victim list, the alleged victim, listed anywhere. And that was the key for it, because there's a civil protection order that was in place, or that is still in place, that if I would have taken the plea deal as it stood, would have most likely directly had me found to have had that CPO put out against me for no less than 3 years, which would also eliminate my rights to protect myself and my family with my Second Amendment. Considering 2 family members just very recently, right before that, had to pull their firearms on someone. One, a guy pulled a gun on him, turned on an BB gun. He drew his gun on that person. That dude took off. Another one, a cousin, was delivering food, door dashing, and 2 guys tried pulling him into a home to rob him. He pistol whipped one of them and took off. And considering how things are going, definitely want to have the 2A available. Both of them, if I were them, I'll be honest with you, I would have probably ended the threat. No one ever wants to go that route, but both times they would have been justified. And in fact, the video I did about a whole bunch of cops, and then the one cop that wouldn't identify himself, the K-9 officer, that was a situation where a family member had ended up being a BB gun, but a BB gun was pulled out on a family member, and lucky for that guy, he wasn't shot. So there's an absolute mess. Looks like dog blood. Yeah, I know, Wolvie. And they're high sodium on top of that. So that's all I've really been able to eat is like ramen and Chef Boyardee mini beef raviolis. If there's a hoodie for that, I'd be wearing that right now because of this thing in my mouth. I haven't been able to really eat much. I just ventured into eating some chips in very small bites and keeping them on this side of the mouth so it doesn't get in there, but didn't go so well, especially things with spice on them. So my noodles, when I mix them up, have been low in seasoning. That's that top ramen. The top ramen gives them cancer, yeah. The Musharan ramen, that's like the OG stuff that's, straight from the gods as a gift to humankind. But yeah, guys, so I am now no longer in the city of Toledo. I just crossed into a safe city for me. I'm going to go ahead and
Northwood.
Pull over park for a minute, say my goodbyes, answer any questions if anyone's got any real quick. Brooklyn, when this ends, feel free to give me a call. I'm just going to be washing the mud off my flippy flops because I don't like muddy flip flops. Yeah, I'll wear these. It's snowing out. It's like 25 degrees last night, I think it was. and I'm walking in the snow and stuff, and he's saying it doesn't bother me, but that mud is just driving me nuts. So, what's up, No Mercy? Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. So quick update, guys, on Car Thief. Car Thief, I'm gonna be trying to do a live for him. He needs some teeth pulled when he had his motorcycle accident. I guess he broke like 4 teeth on. See, it was either back left or back right bottom, and they can pull it for like 200. They can take care of all of his teeth like 200.
All right. Get back to here. He's done. He's getting ready to get off. This is next level. Next. One neck beard, see? We keep it clean. Oh, what you got there, Anna? Couple spades, maybe. Ah, fuck. Now you're checking. I'm out. I'm out. Somebody's got some spades. No, someone's got a spade. Did I have one? Shit. No, I didn't. And I got that ace of spades. Yep. Anna gave herself away on that one. I'm going to switch back to Russell. I gave next level a like. Thanks for the shout out in the chat there too. No Mercy.
I would wait till you get a little bit more.
Yeah, GG.
You say you stream at where? Again? You're not here in town. You know that for sure, right?
All right, let's go back to Russell for now.
Actually, don't you think that those films we make every day where we do our level best to expose hypocrisy and corruption and bring people together in spite of cultural differences are worthy of an Oscar? Well, the Academy do not think that. And that's why I'll be boycotting the Oscars. Not that they've noticed. Hugh Grant, though, fellow Englishman and wryly intelligent Brit, was at the Oscars. And, of course, you can see that what's happened to Hugh Grant is he's stopped caring about things like this.
Weary, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's sort of, I'd say it's like Neo. He's sort of woken up and he finds himself still at the Oscars, obligated, I imagine, to attend due to his commitments to certain projects that he's attached to and starring in. But while there, he's thinking, oh, don't make me do this. And that's really plain when you see him talking to this attractive journalist. Have a look.
What are you most excited to see tonight?
To see?
Yeah, well, I know that you probably watched a few.
The spirit of the chat, has he? Sorry, he's become a curmudgeon, hasn't he? Yeah. He doesn't even accept the premise.
No.
To see
The movies. Are you excited to see anybody win? Do you have your hopes up for anyone?
my hopes. Are they up? The old hopes? Down or normal? You can just see that Hugh Grant is not connected to this scenario at all.
No one in particular.
Okay, well, what
Said I don't care. I don't care about the Oscars. I've woken up in the bubble.
are you wearing tonight then?
Just my suit.
Your suit? Who
Yeah.
made your suit? You didn't make it.
I can't remember my tailor.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the tailor.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does it feel like to be in Glass Onion? It was such an amazing.
What does it feel like? Because what could you possibly say in response to the question? What does it feel like? While you're being in Glass Onion, it feels like, wow, man, I'm in Glass Onion.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself.
It's amazing because she's gone from, how do you feel about what you're about to see? And he's not giving her anything. And then she's gone straight to, what are you wearing? Which is obviously a standard question in these award ceremonies. It's kind of amazing that that's the second or
That's a red carpet question.
in most award ceremonies. What are you wearing? Do some promotion, please.
It's because it's pageantry, I suppose. People people talk about nihilism and materialism and the meaninglessness of our contemporary culture predicated as it is on consumerism and commodification, but we still intuitively reach for meaning and purpose and some sort of set of signals that indicate to us that life is not just an empty, occasionally stirred morass of nothingness. And the Oscars, like, they were setting up for Oscars when we were recently in Los Angeles. They shut down all of Hollywood Boulevard. There's scaffolds being erected. There are billboards slung up. And of course, we're all aware of, aren't we? We're telling you nothing new, that there's a financial crisis apparently being precipitated. There's a geopolitical disaster already happening for the people of Ukraine, but happening elsewhere, a slow creep towards war with China, the conditions of the pandemic being lived out, explored. Is it leading to more centralization?
Anna's clearing your house. GG, man.
Communicated to correct.
Damn, I look away for a second.
A whole host of subjects. Are we being bludgeoned with lies? And obviously, Hugh Grant, who I know a little bit, not very well, but he's like a very intelligent person. Who's having to answer questions about his clothes, and not to discredit the other person. She's just doing what her job is. Isn't it, like, don't you think? Tell me in the comments in the chat if you feel the same, whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this with us now on Rumbles or our membership platform Locals. Do you find it harder and harder to participate? Like, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, oh God, is this still going on? Is this still happening? And of course, there was a time where I craved it. Like,
I'll go on in with nothing here.
I remember standing backstage there. I am, look, without a beard. Of course, one of our mates says that when I don't have a
we'll get you to your date.
His helmet off. Like,
got some work I gotta do anyway.
And seeing all them Oscars lined up together. It's
Call
weird
me.
to see
I don't have shit.
item
I'm telling you.
abundant.
I have 5'3"
off
offsuit.
That motivates Andy Warhol, isn't it? If you endlessly
there's my 3.
Marilyn Monroe or Elvis, you recognise everything has become commodity.
There's your 8.
Or
Sweet.
if you reify a can
Sweet.
of soup, you sort of say, oh, everything could be celebrated as a work of art. And for
No
me,
way.
I don't know about you guys, I start to feel like, is this still happening? I mean, I do care about football though, so I am still engaged in cultural ephemera, and I know brilliant films are still made and beautiful artifacts emerge continually from the culture, but I do feel that Terence McKenna's
You see it on Twitter, or are you still on Twitter jail?
That primarily these festivals, these ceremonies.
Usually that's where the news hits the fastest anymore is Twitter.
Galvanizing your interest in stuff that you sort of shouldn't really care about.
Yeah, because it always does come back to the same thing. What are you wearing? Like, it's a kind of reset of dumbness.
As you are aware, we are all dying. What are you wearing while you are dying right now? At the end of it, Hugh Grant, like, sort of, you can see he's sort of got this almost ennui and despair. If you want to click over and watch us on Rumble right now, you really ought, because the second half of this, we're talking about January 6th and the media's misrepresentation of it and the sort of Tucker Carlson controversy and how January 6th is being used. We'll also be talking about some of Pfizer's new post-pandemic deals and what the conditions and potential mendacity around those things are. Of course, on YouTube, we are curtailed by guidelines, which I'm sure they put in place for the best of reasons, but over on Rumble, we are free to speak as we would, as our consciences would have us. Let's see how Hugh Grant wraps up this debacle.
Film, I really loved it. I love a thriller. How fun is it to shoot something like that?
Well, I'm barely in it. I'm in it for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, but still, you showed up and you had fun, right?
Almost.
Okay.
Oh, Hugh, not at all. Oh God, I mean, like, he's actually unable to participate in this. I would say if I was working with or for Hugh Grant, I'd say, Hugh, you're not going to them Oscars no more. You don't like it. You shouldn't be forced to go. I don't even think you like being in Glass Onion very much, did
You're
you?
actually not doing us any favours here.
Although he is really good in films these days.
He's very
really
good.
good in that one with Wishaw.
Yep.
He's really good in Paddington.
Yes.
Well, I think Hugh Grant's a brilliant actor, but he don't like the Oscars. That's how I used to feel at those Oscars. And things like that. I only went once. That's how I used to feel those things, like sort of bewildered and overwhelmed, and like, is this right? Is this life? Is this what's happening? Remember even when there's things like the British Comedy Awards, you say you don't know how to organise.
Well, there's a lot of different.
You're sat on a table waiting for and the nominees for Best New Comedian, Russell Brand, some other people.
Perspectives here.
Some other people. I don't know what to do with my face, like during it. How to look during it. I've never been comfortable with that stuff, but let's just see that despair.
So whose report do I want to read? Because they're completely different aspects of it.
In which, of course, quantitative easing was introduced to bail out the big banks, even though Biden's saying taxpayer money won't be used. Is that true? Ultimately, let's see. But first, let's look at Hugh Grant experiencing despair at the Oscars.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, back to you guys.
That bit at the end is my favourite bit. Yeah. Okay. Oh dear. I hope he's all right. I mean, he is okay, isn't he? He's having a career renaissance.
Oh, yeah.
He's brilliant in film, so that's good news in some regard, I suppose. Now let's have a look at the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank. The Silicon Valley Bank has collapsed. There's a number of reasons for this. Like there's been a 4.5% increase in interest rates, so all bonds that they bought of like now less valuable and stuff like that. You know, Gareth and I, you may not know this, we're not financial experts, but sadly, neither are the people that are organising these bailouts. They're usually lobbyists. This story shows you everything you need to know about the symbiosis between Wall Street and Washington. It tells you a lot about the lobbying industry. It tells you a lot about the lack of lessons learned from 2008. It tells you a lot about how convergent interests around both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party ultimately align when it comes to the big issues like finances, and it shows you how
That sounds good,
media
Anna.
always lean into partisanship. Do you think I've done the story justice there,
You're
mate?
right. I mean, the kind of reporting of it, whether you look at the right or the left, you know, from the right, it's focusing on like woke issues, which I don't think has anything to do with deregulation of the banking industry. From the left, it's all about blaming Trump, when actually what we know is the kind of deregulation of the regulations that were meant to be put up in 2008 to protect ordinary Americans were then, you know, watered down in 2018.
Only for medium-sized banks.
Correct.
Medium-sized banks was never the problem. Stadium banks, they were called. They're the best. They're all right. It's those two big banks. The two big to fail banks that did fail, they were bad. But medium-sized banks that you make stadiums with, they need to be deregulated. And as a result of lobbying, they were. And now look what's happening. Should we have a look at how the mainstream media reports on this story?
We'll see how, you know, biased they are and how ultimately what we always talk about is how reductive the mainstream media are, and this is exactly what they do here.
It's the Republicans' fault because, of course, it's, I think, MSNBC's with a man who I believe is called Chris Hayes. I get that impression, but I don't know what I mean. I'm an investigative journalist. See if you pick up on it.
5 years ago, when Republicans were last in control of the House of Representatives, they used the opportunity to roll back banking regulations put into place after the 2008 financial crisis.
So it's Donald Trump's fault. There he is, being jostled by sort of, I don't know, Congress folk, lobbyists, bankers, whoever the hell those people are. But let's have a look at the banking crisis timeline. Let's see how this unfolded. Check it out. Let's have a look at that on the screen now. Thank you. Now, in 2010, the Dodd-Frank Act was brought in, but I need that full screen to read it, please, if you don't mind. The Dodd-Frank Act, brought in by the Congressman Barney Frank and Senator Chris Dodd, was designed to tighten banking regulations to prevent another 2008 crash. It was supposed to prevent
Facebook, you said.
Note the names Barney Frank and Chris Dodd. Try and remember them just for a few seconds. In 2015, Greg Becker,
I don't think she
Silicon
fucks
Valley
with this
Bank's
shit.
president, submitted a statement to a Senate panel pushing legislators to exempt more banks, including his own, from new regulations. I'm here mostly on behalf of banks in general, but also the bank that I work at, passed in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis. A couple of months later, SVB added the former Obama Treasury Department official Mary Miller to its board, noting she had previously helped oversee financial regulatory reforms. So that whole revolving door idea that many of us think is significant when it comes to politics and finance is exemplified here in this story. In 2015, Democrat Congressman Barney Frank. Oh, I remember Barney Frank. What, from the Dodd-Frank Act a second ago?
That's him.
Just, he's cropped up again.
Well, he knows the most about regulation, Russ.
Oddly, he was pushed to ease banking regulations after joining the Signature Bank board. I mean, it's another one of those stories that shows you that how you intuitively think these things work is exactly how these things work. Over at Signature Bank or SVB or whatever bank, they go, I know how to get past some of these regulations. Why don't we get hold of one of the Congress people that drafted the bill and get them to lobby on our behalf and say, you know I drew up this regulation, but I was much too regulatory that day. I was regulating everything. I wouldn't let the dog out of the house. I told my wife, put a longer skirt on. I regulated the hell out of my kids. And do you know what? I wish I could turn back the clock. Thankfully, I can. Let's deregulate stadium banks or medium-sized banks, these kind of banks that are failing right now. That's old Barney Frank for you.
Yep.
Barney Frank, apparently available for $1 million. That's an allegation. I can't prove that.
No, you can't.
Allegedly. Oh, I can't prove that yet. That's not allegedly.
Paid $1 million. He
got paid $1 million. Strike that from the record. In 2018, the Trump administration, remember, bipartisan, everyone's involved, began to repeal the act. Regulations for smaller banks were removed and lower capital for loans were required. So you just saw the mainstream news saying, oh, it's Trump. We saw him, just like Trump, to be jostled by all those jostlers. Then 2021, the Biden administration came in. The regulations Trump had changed remained the same. We beat Farmer this year. All of the excitement, all of the Sturm and Drang.
Yeah, 50 Republicans and 17 Democrats. So, you know, it was a bipartisan effort to deregulate what we were told was put in place to protect ordinary Americans. And now, not Obama, but Biden himself is saying that taxpayers won't be footing the bill. But a lot of financial experts are saying that that's not strictly true.
Not strictly true, that tangentially they ultimately will be. The final point on our little financial timeline, and why don't you take a screenshot of this, then you can do your own TV show to your pals. President Biden has reassured Americans that, oh yeah, Gal just did that.
Oh, okay, fine.
So let's check it out. Let's have a look at Joe Biden now, looking all presidential and stuff. Oh yeah, look, here's a bunch of people that voted for both Trump and Obama. We know about all that kind of stuff, don't we? So ultimately, it's the sort of same sort of system, same sort of results. And man, you know, even if you're a person that dislikes right-wing politics for your own reasons, or you dislike left-wing politics for your own reasons, you have to acknowledge that there's a symbiosis and a kind of flow between these administrations that. But Obama's actions in 2008 contributed to the election of Trump because of the alliance to the same financial interests that ultimately benefit whoever is in government. Here's Biden trying to make it clear that we will not see 2008 Part 2 and that taxpayers...
Yes, ma'am.
But some experts, even as this story breaks, are saying that's simply not true, and we'll tell you a little more about that after we watch the man himself. Let's go.
I want to briefly speak about what's happening in Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Today, thanks to the quick action of my administration over the past few days.
Been so quick. We've reacted like lightning. Whoosh. There he goes.
Yeah.
Making quick actions. Let's see what these quick actions are.
Watch him run out as soon as they start asking questions.
The banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there.
Watch him run out.
No losses will be, and this is an important point, no losses will be borne by the taxpayers. Let me repeat that. No losses will be borne by the taxpayers.
Now, I said, what I take that to mean, and let me know in the chat in the comments if you think this means I've become cynical and jaded. What I reckon that means is they now recognise that people don't like bailing out big banks after 2008. So you have to explicitly say we won't be doing that. But he uses the language, the nomenclature, taxpayer. So you won't be via an over-observable tax be footing the bill. But Gal, do you want to read what them experts are saying? Because it seems like there are indirect ways through banking fees that will likely end up with ordinary Americans, but mean that you will ultimately for the bill simply because the bill's too big to be paid for by this fund that they're saying is going to pay it.
Yeah, so finance officials have said that covering depositor losses from the bank failures will be met in part by the Deposit Insurance Fund held by the FDIC, the government corporation that supplies deposit insurance to depositors in U.S.
Just send me the address.
Savings banks. Susan Streeter, though, who is head of money and markets at Hargreaves Lansdowne, said the wider banking system
almost done here anyway.
Of the bailout of banking customers, as the money will come from the fees institutions pay into the deposit insurance fund. If that happens, it will get harder to argue
Viking
that
Welsh.
non-bailout will not ultimately fall on U.S. taxpayers.
Yeah, because, you know, I've noticed that there's not a tendency to pass on costs. Like, for example, during this energy crisis, you'll have noticed that your energy bills stayed consistently low throughout it. And energy companies' profits, they didn't increase either. Oh, no. What actually happened is their profits radically increased and your bills went up. So that's extraordinary.
Exactly.
Let's have a look at what happened. This is a weird thing. They've been printing money, you know, like this. Some of this is about inflation, the recent increase in inflation. Like and I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about finance and stuff. I'm just trying to learn along with you. And in a minute, we've got a guest on the show, Ryan Grimm, who's going to teach us a whole lot more about this subversive, sly banker bailout on the lowdown. But have a look at this graph. Look at this. In 2020, look at that sharp increase of the number of US dollars in circulation. And if you want to amuse yourself for a moment, you'll note that it's like a phallus suddenly emerging. Like if that was in a physical landscape, if you were like, you know, you're walking along, it's 1970, 80, 90, it's increasing a bit there, 2000, even 2010 and around the sharp increases of cash in circulation around the financial crisis. Nothing compared to this 2020 sharp incline like that. Don't you feel that that's going to have some fundamental economic repercussions? I mean, I'm not an economist, but I know that when you see something like that on a graph, it's not good news, is it?
No, I also worry, you know, there's obviously a lot of talk about how in the Obama years, Wall Street really went before Obama. You know, they put a lot of money into
They
Obama's
liked him.
campaign. The same has happened with Biden.
They like
Obviously,
him.
it was with the Republicans between those two. But I just think any government that's in power who's taking so much money from the financial
Anna.
industry and Wall Street, are they ultimately going to punish the
Oh.
banks in the way that Biden's talking about?
Let me know in the chat in the comments. If your funding comes from the banks, how likely are you to punish the banks? Do you think there's a relationship between the way that the Democrat Party is funded and the way that the Democrat Party governs? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. We'll read those out in a minute. If you're watching this on YouTube, join us on Rumble as soon as you can. We're going to give you a great conversation right now. I hope it's great. I mean, I'm going to do my level best with someone from The Intercept. And remember, the back half of this show where we're talking about January the 6th and some of the peculiarities around this reporting and the way it's being utilized to introduce legislation and different types of regulation will be discussed in the back half of this show tonight, as well as us looking at Pfizer's brilliant new, not at all heartbreaking and potentially evil scheme to keep those profits up now that the pandemic, is it okay to say that the pandemic's over?
Careful.
What? Steady,
Still on
baby.
YouTube.
Steady. Now, an actual journalist from the reputable organization The Intercept, writer of Bad News on Substack and host of Counterpoints. Or is that on Breaking Point?
certainly is.
I love this guy. This is Ryan Grimm. Welcome to the show, Ryan. Hello, thanks for
You
coming,
guys are
mate.
hilarious.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Why don't you get yourself some earpods, mate? Them type of headphones, people don't wear them no more. What are you, from the old days? What are they
Can't lose
paying
these
you?
because they're just stuck right in here.
Yeah,
They're
simple
always
as
going to
that.
be here.
Ryan, it's not my business to ensure that you keep up with the mindless consumerism that drives us through life. Now, Ryan, can you please tell me what's going on in this banker crisis? Was you listening to me and Gareth just then? Do you think we did a good job of it? And what are you going to add to it, please?
Yes, that sounded pretty good. I think what I would add to it is the stick side of it. Like, what does the government need to do to these bankers in order to, because they talk about this moral hazard. And so they say, well, if you bail people out, then they're just going to be reckless. And, they're going to keep doing this just the way, they did it in 2008, they did it in the 1930s. If there's no penalties, then what's going on? But the question is, are we really going to make the depositors suffer the penalties? I might be fine with that if you're depositors who have millions of dollars and you're in a risky bank like Silicon Valley Bank. But just realistically, from a political perspective, we're always going to make depositors whole. So if we're going to make depositors whole, then thinking through this, how do we, monkey around with this moral hazard? And to me, it would be, not only do you wipe out all the shareholders of Silicon Valley Bank, not only do all the executives get fired, but you also do something like bankrupt the executives. So if you say, look, if you run a bank into the ground to the point where it's going to cost taxpayers, and ultimately it's going to be taxpayers, millions of dollars, we're going to you first before we hit
Sparkly
up the
spoke.
society.
Hey,
Then I
we had a
think you
breakfast
have
out the other day called
all of a
unicorn
sudden are a lot
farts.
more cautious
It had
about
glitter in
the
it.
bets that they're making and the way that they're running the bank.
My
The
wife
other
did.
thing
I drink
would-
Pardo
and
on
we
it.
can
It
talk
was
about this too,
nasty.
is this wild text chain among all of these tech founders.
Have
and
fun, Anna.
founders.
Thanks for coming by.
Did you see this? This guy talked about it. There were 200 founders who were in this.
Probably
text
have more
chain
games
who all
later, guys.
Started saying, "Hey, maybe we should all take our money out of Silicon Valley Bank." And if you really were scared that the bank was going to collapse, what you would do is you would go to the bank and you would take your money out. You wouldn't text 200 of your richest friends and suggest, hey, maybe we should all take our money all at the same time out of this bank. That makes absolutely no sense if your goal is self-preservation of your own wealth. If you think the bank's going to collapse, you call the bank, say, here's my wire instructions, get my money out of that bank. What they did is they created a bank run with that text chain. And then you have to ask, why did they do that? And
Please, speculatively, and I know it's purely speculation, Ryan, why would you do that? Is it because you know that if the bank collapses, you're going to be bailed out and ultimately it's going to be more beneficial than taking the money out in the first place?
Yeah, one of the theories that's going around is that this entire tech economy requires low interest rates and massive amounts of quantitative easing. That chart that you showed, that money flows into asset prices, houses, like that's why housing prices are going crazy, rents are going crazy. But really what it funnels is into big tech. Like without the quantitative easing the last decade, you don't have this big tech explosion over the last decade. Now that they're starting to turn that spigot down, you're seeing all of these tech companies lay everybody off. You're seeing everything collapse. So the speculation is, what could these tech bros do that would get the Fed's attention? That would say, look, if you keep jacking up interest rates, this, you're going to blow the economy up. You're going to cause real problems here. And what could they do? Well, they could blow up a tiny little bank and threaten contagion around the entire economy. So to me, we don't, like you said, this is speculation. We don't know. We do know. Go ahead.
I love this thing. It's my new thing. It's so that I don't have to sort of step over. You know, it can be embarrassing on Zoom calls. So, like, one of the phrases we've picked up in this space, Ryan, is it's not a bug, it's a feature. That things that sometimes that appear like aberrations or anomalies or flaws are actually design features of the system. If the and this is obviously speculative, but it appears that the military-industrial complex requires ongoing military conflict in order to underwrite its model. And what you've just articulately explained to us and to our community is that the big tech model requires quantitative easing, and in order to, this is like a sort of warning shot, you're saying. This is a sort of a dialogue being played, potentially. I know you're not Nostradamus or whatever, or some sort of soothsayer, but potentially this is part of a kind of dialogue taking place between the state treasury and the banking system that's letting them know that there are ways of precipitating financial disaster unless there's compliance and favorable legislation and regulation.
Yeah, nice little economy you've got going here. Shame if there was a bank run and a bunch of contagion that just wiped it out. So, yeah. So now the New York Times is reporting just now that the FBI, Department of Justice, are going to look into the causes of this
I
meltdown.
didn't show up for an interview.
The 2018 rollback, the executives who cashed out a bunch of bonuses, like those, that's all going to get looked at. To me, they ought to actually look at that text chain. You got 200 people, you got 200 phone numbers. Call those folks in. Maybe it was completely innocent. Ask them, why did you tell your closest 200 friends to take their money out of here? Why didn't you just take your own money out? At the same time, Peter Thiel's, what's it called, his founder's firm, they did a call on that day where they called money in, like on that very day. That required then a bunch of their partners, or urged a bunch of their partners to pull money out as well. You say, why'd you do this? Just total coincidence? What did this have anything to do with this? I think these are reasonable questions that investigators, ought to be asking, because it just does, the other explanations just don't make a lot of sense.
Hey, Doug, I'm back.
It's extraordinary that you say
You
that.
back?
So it's unlikely that the investigation will look into these aspects of the case. What about Biden's public claim, overt, obvious, and plain, that the consequences of a failed capitalist venture are bankruptcy? Like you said, the bankers involved are unlikely to face bankruptcy. You said that should be the first step, and that the consequences of those actions should be felt. Is this something where the right people will pay the price, or will this ultimately, as them experts in The Guardian said, ultimately end up being the bill being footed by taxpayers, if not directly through taxation, but likely through bank fees and stuff, simply because there isn't enough money in that fund that they keep banging on about to cover a loss of this scale?
If it goes the way it went in 2008, then the bankers will just be fine, and they'll move on. They'll move on to other banks, and nothing will get clawed back. If you remember, AIG was paying out massive bonuses, just months after their collapse that precipitated a global financial crisis. And now the politics have changed. You're seeing a lot more anger about this. You're gonna see, I think, because of alternative media, you'll see the mainstream media also being unable to kind of move away from it as quickly as they might otherwise want to. So we are in a slightly different place 15 years later than we were then, and I think no politician wants to be on the side of bailouts, and that's why you're seeing Biden do all of these semantics and gymnastics to try to say that actually, well, of course, this isn't a bailout.
It's fascinating. If both parties are pro-deregulation, and that is ultimately the way that it went when there was the opportunity to maintain regulation or decrease it, as has happened, and you see reductive reporting from both sides, i.e. MSNBC, this is all about Trump, without sort of saying, but we could say that the quantity of easing, the decisions made by Obama in 2008. When you have this kind of systemic environment, how how, Ryan, will there ever be disruption of these systems? If you have a systemic problem of this nature, how can you alter it without significantly altering the system, please?
I don't know that you can, because you also saw this with the train derailment in Ohio. Like the media ignored it for a very long time until they could find something that they could pin on Trump. They're like, oh wait, Trump did some deregulatory stuff when he was in office around railroads. Then we had a train disaster. Boom. Okay, now we can cover this story. Then you've got other reporters saying, well, wait, the Obama administration also did this stuff, and the Biden administration is currently in office, but it feels like without that hook, that the media doesn't know how to get into it. And so now they've discovered this 2018 deregulatory action, which Trump took, which Trump should be criticized for. But the media should note it takes 60 votes in the Senate to get anything done. They could only do it because they had the willing participation of plenty of Democrats. Now, also fair to say, 50 Republicans is a lot more than 70
What other poker
Democrats.
group? Who's poker group?
But in the end, it doesn't matter to people
Mouse?
because the law got passed.
That's right. And it seems to continually lead us, Ryan, to the obvious conclusion that neither
The poker
party
group.
can meaningfully intercede when it comes to improving the lives of ordinary people, introducing the type of regulation, legislation, movement, systems, ideas that would alter significantly the lives of most folk, that there's generally a consensus and a willingness within the media to keep the conversation framed in a particular way, within Congress or the Senate to keep the legislation framed in a particular way.
I think he's in the same group. He's just an admin now in this one. I mean, unless he started a new one.
Of your expertise, I mean,
Chopper.
It does seem now that what's required is
I think it's the same group. I thought it was.
And significant systemic change, and neither party is offering that, right?
Yeah, and for a long time, to me, the way that you could, most effectively influence politics was by kind of playing inside the Democratic primary inside the Democratic Party in primaries, like the way that, say, Bernie Sanders, challenged Hillary Clinton in 2016, ran again in 2020, and by that way influenced the party. But I now think that opportunity exists in both parties, and I think that regular people who consider themselves to be either independents or Republicans, but they independents, but they vote in Republican primaries, can have an opportunity to influence the Republican Party too, and say, look, you voted for this rollback in 2018. I'm going to support a candidate that didn't do that. None of that is going to work though, unless you get some type of reform to the way that campaigns are financed. To me, it's got to come from kind of matching funds from the government, because the way the Supreme Court is now, they're not going to let you kind of cap spending or cap the amount of giving. And so all you can do is kind of equalize things. There was a bill that said, that there would be a way that you would get a 6-to-1 match. If you have $50, that actually becomes
all
$300,
caps,
and that you can give it then to a couple of your candidates of your choosing. So unless you can match corporations, you're never going to match them dollar for dollar.
I wonder why he switched
but if
it.
you can keep regular people.
I mean, he had a bunch of people in that other one.
Then I think they're going to win because they have the more popular position. Like a corporation needs 10 times the amount of money in order to get its unpopular position across the finish line.
Yeah, it's going to automatically
Now,
split it.
they have
That's the
20
most you'll
times,
have is
30 times,
9. It'll
40
do that
times more. If
automatically.
you can get it down to 10-to-1, then at least it's a fair fight.
Okay, that's Ryan. That is somewhat promising, although I still prefer a revolution. Ryan, thanks for
Shouldn't have to
joining
create
us.
another
Ryan
clan
Grimm
for
is a
that.
reporter for
That's
the
okay.
Intercept, writer of Bad News on
Me,
Substack. You can follow him there, and host of Counterpoints. Ryan, thanks so much for joining
Let
us.
me at
That was a
least send my
fantastic conversation. Now,
request to it.
we're going to slink off of YouTube right now for regulatory reasons. The irony: some spaces need regulation, some places need less regulation, some places need trust, faith.
Showing the poker
That
club.
content creators are speaking.
ID
honestly
number
and openly.
4873681.
I'm lobbying for radical change in every conceivable area. So if you're watching this now on YouTube, we're about to slip off exclusively onto Rumble because we're going to be talking about Pfizer's latest sly little move. And I mean, sly, I suppose, is alleged. It might not be sly. Maybe it's.
Oh, it just depends on how you set up the table too.
Story. Then we're going to be
I
moving
mean, you can
on
have
to
it split
January
at different
6th. If you're watching
numbers.
us anywhere else, join us exclusively on Rumble.
Probably the way it
right
was
now,
set
and I'll tell you
up.
how you can watch my stand-up special, Pandemic, which is a real ball breaker, a glorious thing. I'll tell you more about that as well. So join us on Rumble now. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla, heard of that guy?
4873681.
No, he won't. He won't. There's a real one in the eye for Albert Bourla in there. Now, one of the things, this is some
All right,
bad news.
I applied.
Since the end of the pandemic, if indeed it's ended, things ain't been going quite as well for Pfizer. Because they did, by coincidence alone, they did really well.
Matt R, what up?
One of the inadvertent
I mean, LVA. How you doing, buddy? Poker time?
Your life, ruined your kids'
I
education.
just played 2
locked you
games.
up in your home was. God, it's not bad. Pfizer did very well. Sadly, now people are gripped by continual perpetual.
Looks like there's 9 people in the club.
In their homes. It has had a negative impact
16
on
in
Pfizer stock prices. But the good news is this: cancer. Cancer is the good news. Cancer.
Yeah, I'll probably play some more later. I might go on the road. I'm going to stream on the road though. That's why I didn't this morning on the way in. 'Cause I'm probably going to leave early. I got to do make a stop for the wife in Toledo before I go.
Could that help?
What contributed to that?
Were you locked in your home lately, unable to do even the merest amount of exercise? The good news is your cancer is Baller's dollar bills.
LVA, we will be playing a little bit later.
CEO says it will be able to deliver Segan's cancer.
I can't set them up in the other room. I can set you guys up one
$1 billion deal. Of course,
in Friends and Codes room if you guys want to play with LVA, but I'm not going to be able to be in it.
Baller said that the pharmaceutical giant
You guys want one?
Segan's cancer therapy to the world at a scale that's not been seen before. Well, you've had some practice delivering medicines at scale.
Also for a price that's not been seen before, I would
It's
imagine.
gonna be
I applied, but 357 has to approve it if she's the only admin.
Want it or not? How about that? What about? Hey, what would be a good idea? Why wait till people have got cancer? Get everyone to take it. What if they don't want to take it? Make them take it. That's what I say.
Look at you. You've been off YouTube for about a minute.
Whoop, whoop. Freedom, baby. This is the sweet sounds of freedom. Glory in it. Glory in the sweet sounds of freedom. Segan is a leading developer of a medicine called antibody drug conjugates, which are designed to directly kill cancer cells and spare healthy ones. Thanks. All are called ADCs, one of the greatest technologies to battle cancer, and liken them to mRNA for vaccines. Okay, well, luckily, there's no problems there. For example, myocarditis, pericarditis, people in their 30s dropping dead. Don't roll your eyes at me. You've been aired. You've been aired by the system. In other news,
Ooh,
the Queen
been accepted.
Will we ever know for sure? Let's have a look at Albert Bourla cropping up on the mainstream media on a puff piece
do
presenting
it.
like this is financial news about how he's going to profit, trying to dress it up like we live to help people that have got cancer.
Wasn't sure. I probably got to log out, log back in. Same old shit with PokerStar
Come on,
saying.
mainstream, right? This is the mainstream media.
Yeah, I just have to log out,
You know
log
how
back in.
the vaccine that you profited 100 billion last year.
Yes,
you know how
it was a good year.
you're talking about putting it up by 10,000% of what it costs.
Well, people aren't being forced to take it, so we've got to raise the price.
Would you do the same thing with this
No.
cancer drug?
Well, like it was so unsuccessful for us. These near mandated medicines where like 34,000 nurses in New York lost their job. We really learned a lesson. So this is just voluntary. We make drugs now for love drugs. So let's have a look at the mainstream.
Well, everybody's only played one. Oh, Friends and Code even made one.
To near
He's in it.
ejaculation over his profiteering
Sweet.
from cancer.
It's like everybody's there.
The CEO of Pfizer joins us now. Albert, great to see you this morning.
It's like as if she's meeting George Clooney, isn't it? Or like Matthew, like it's Albert. Like, look at him.
She's more enthusiastic than Hugh Grant at the Oscars.
I'd like Hugh Grant to interview.
Yeah.
Okay, Albert. So it seems I've got to ask you some questions. Where have you got all this money from, you bastard? Are you going to give people any of their money back, you swine? That's what you want Hugh Grant on the bloody
Thanks,
news.
Matt.
There's not this
Oh yeah,
darling,
just go ahead and set up a
bleeding,
room if you guys want to
lovely
play.
woman who's well, obviously an expression of the limitless light of the
You
Lord,
got
trying
it.
to do her best in the dog-eat-dog world of CNBC.
Dirty Dog didn't play, no.
Uh-oh, I pressed the wrong button.
I have not seen Yarrow in weeks. I don't know. I'm trying to think back. I don't remember anybody ever offending
Huge price tag. Tell
him.
us why CGN is worth it for
Wife was just asking me about that the other day about Hyro.
The money, but this is cancer. Like, who in the world don't know?
I haven't even
someone
seen him in any
that's got cancer
chats.
or is already dead because of cancer. It's not like a jolly subject.
Used to be in Bow's chat too, and I don't ever see him in there.
And there, when you recognise, oh no, the system is really rigged in order to cause all sorts of problems. You can sort of see it even if you don't understand it. Same with like the pharmaceutical industry. I don't think anyone begrudges people making a profit out of entrepreneurship and ingenuity, even though there's certainly an argument that there might be a better way of organising society in reality. Of course there are, but even if we just say that, let's have a slightly more reasonable reform system. The idea that people are grinning from ear to ear about cancer.
This is corporatist propaganda. This is when we talk about the mainstream media, when we get criticised for going on Fox or going on and having discussions about how both sides are as bad as each other, when the mainstream or from the left criticise about that, and then they get on Albert Bourla to basically give him some propaganda, give him a puff piece. They've done it all the way through the pandemic. Now they're going to do it about him making probably massive profits off people having cancer. It's quite incredible. They do the same things with the military-industrial complex, and yet apparently we're the conspiracy theorists.
The conspiracy theory is this. Let us plainly state it, that the media operate in conjunction with corporate interests to present an agenda that's favourable to their profits and dominion in a light that is appealing to ordinary people, so that we don't rise up in angry unison against their agenda of corruption and division. That's the conspiracy theory. Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments if it makes sense to you. But meanwhile, let's see the mainstream media massaging Albert Bourla into a few more billions from your cancer.
Okay, Meg, very nice to see you. But cancer
Flirt about cancer money.
is one of the biggest therapeutic areas, and
Meeting the Pope. Yeah. That's when I met the Pope. Would you like another jab? How about another boost? How about another boost? I'm okay. I've been praying. You pray for this one, baby.
right now, 1 in 3 people in the world are going to have cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, the number.
Which is great for us.
Over a long enough timeline, everybody gets it. Women get breast and men get colon.
Anxious and distressed the whole time. Look at the line getting higher and higher. Look at the numbers. They're green now.
Sorry, it's the jittering is not your phone, by the way. I don't know why. It's just Rumble that it's happening on.
Husband or wife, they will be.
See that, isn't it, Gal? It's like Pfizer's profits. Oh, look, they're going down.
Actually, I got
Almost
time
at
for
the
one
exact
game.
same
I'll
time
jump
that
in.
It was near mandated that you have to take their products.
Yeah.
And then, well, who's this little guy? Segan. They seem to be on the climb.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we piggyback to a new dimension on their profits?
Well, like with the banking crisis, we're told all of this financial industry is really complicated and we won't understand it. And that's why
Yeah, we do too.
amazing, we had to do it, and that's why you had to foot the bill for all of it.
Wife, like I said, the wife was just asking about him the other day.
Pretty simple. Pfizer's profits are going right down because people don't want to take the vaccine anymore. So we need to get this cancer drug, which their profits are going right up.
And what about the argument that you continually made, and I know that David Sirota at the Lever made, that Pfizer are presented as this sort of bunch of geniuses, people getting tattoos and buying jackets with Pfizer on it. All they've done was
The hell's that?
BioNTech that developed the vaccine using taxpayer money in Germany, and now they're buying up this cancer drug, not with the goal of helping people with cancer get better, but with the goal of increasing profit.
Well, the point is, hopefully it will. Hopefully
When's
it
it
will
set
help
up
people
for?
with cancer,
Wait.
and that's a great thing if it helps people with cancer. But if the byproduct of that
6 minutes,
is that they're
okay.
charging exorbitant rates for
All right, I can-
and people can't afford to get it, or are basically for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you need 6
tied
players.
to a drug that they can't afford.
And
When you're at when you do the 20%.
and managing profits and prices through their practices. I would go so far to say, and let me know if you agree with this in the chat and the comments, particularly if you're on locals. If you're a member of locals, I see your comments first. That you getting better from cancer is an inadvertent side effect of their business practice, not the focus of their business practice. You like look at the opioid crisis. They will make decisions that lead directly to your death if there's a profit in it. That's just based on the opioid crisis. That comment, and even for me on Rumble where I'm free. By coincidence, a couple of years ago, dear old Jill Biden cropped up on your TV set saying that cancer was, look at that, and they're even using the words there, cancer moonshot, which is a phrase they
Women's
introduced
turn.
during the pandemic to say, well, somehow
You're hilarious, man.
maybe if all the
I gotta
stars
pee.
align,
Be right back.
we'll make $100 billion from you being locked in your home with a disease with a very low fatality rate. That Matt Hancock's texts reveal that even Chris Whitty, who was the scientific advisor and leader in our country, he's our version of Fauci, even that dude was saying, oh, I'm not sure you need to vaccinate a population for something with such a low mortality rate. So the moonshot they're talking about is the moonshot of taking public money and putting it into private hands. And when you run out of pandemic, you better jump aboard that cancer train, baby, because cancer ain't going anywhere as long as you live in a culture that essentially causes you cancer. Let's have a look at Jill Biden's new initiative to massage cancer policies into the public consciousness. Check it.
Budget that Joe released. He is investing in cancer research and prevention.
So nice, and there's someone in a white coat, there's a woman of color, and we're being all friendly and stuff. And I don't know, man, aren't you tired of this? Don't you want to be told the truth? Aren't you ready for the truth? Aren't you ready for nuanced reporting? Aren't you ready to participate in a truly democratic conversation? Aren't you ready for politicians that represent your interests and stand up to corporate interests? Are you ready? Are you? Because, baby, I'm ready. If you want to be part of our growing community, join us right now on Locals. Do not delay. For the small annual fee, you'll get all of our content, additional ad-free content, as well as my stand-up special, Brandemic, which you will enjoy as I skewer some of these corporate interests. Time now, though, for a little look at the type of alliances that we are trying to cultivate. While we were in your country, America, we met people from, as Gareth said, apparently so-called right-wing news organizations. Now, the idea of me going on Fox a little while ago, and I asked you guys if you thought I should go on Fox, it would have been unimaginable, inconceivable, and yet I went on Fox. I've got to say, Greg Gutfield, bloody lovely. Tucker Carlson, I can't see Tucker Carlson's face now without feeling my heart swell with love. People say, like, oh, Tucker Carlson, like he's a white supremacist, and obviously white supremacy is wrong. I don't feel like Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist. People right now are saying he's reporting on January 6th, he's irresponsible. I feel that people should be able to deal with the facts for themselves. It's possible to go, no, I don't agree with that. You've edited that footage to make it look not as bad. What about that when they're smashing up them windows? You're an adult, right? You can have that conversation. You can decide for yourself whether or not January 6th is being used to amplify regulatory measures. Can you decide that for yourself, or would you like some corrupt person to come on your TV set and blag you? I don't know. It's up to you.
Dresses like he's homeless?
When we went on Tucker, what I was able to
Actually, that stuff looks pretty expensive.
Because I chatted to my mates, they're conventional Dems, like Shepard Fairey and that.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of possible, like, Tucker can have...
You had your Class A's on Chopper Chopper.
Different from yours as well. I think that is the point.
It's allowed. That's called democracy, isn't it? I mean, one of the things that we kept pushing when we were
White
on
Supreme
conversations
Pizza
with
is...
like Ben Shapiro, who I actually think is
White Pizza is good.
Like, he's got different perspective than me. I think he's acting in good faith. And like, this is what I believe, and I think this might be the secret. This might be the main thing we can offer together. Let me know in the chat in the comments if you agree. I said to Ben, like, would you stand on a platform with people from Black Lives Matter, with people like trans rights activists, the people that on your show you continually are in adversity with? Would you stand on a platform with them to confront centralized power? He said, yes, of course. I said to Tucker Carlson, I'm not at ease with some of the stuff you said about homeless people because I feel like that's condemning the most vulnerable people in society. And Tucker Carlson's response was brilliant. So have a look at this. You're going to love this. This is our conversations with Tucker, with Greg, and my humble attempt to try to create new conversations that prevent us just being entrenched in ossified oppositional positions that won't allow us ever to advance. Here's the news. No, here's the effing news.
Thank you for choosing Fox News.
No, here's the fucking news.
I went on Tucker Carlson and Greg Gutfield's Fox News show, leading the neoliberal establishment to attack me for being a right-wing conspiracy theorist. But is it necessary to have new conversations? And who is it that's interested in censorship now? Is it the left or is it the right? The controversy was stirred up by my appearance on shows like Tucker Carlson, Greg Gutfield. I spoke to Ben Shapiro, also numerous right-wing commentators. You'll remember, if you're my age, that right-wing just used to be one of the things that a person could be and wasn't automatically associated with things like fascism and racism and all the ideas I think fundamentally we're agreed are bad ideas wherever we stand politically. So what is the agenda of the neoliberal establishment media? What do they want spoken about? What do they not want spoken about? Because let me tell you up front, what I learned from my conversations with figures from the conservative right, let's call them, is that there is a new willingness to form new alliances in order to be able to attack centralized establishment authoritarian power, i.e., explicitly, people that are conservative and right-wing are willing to have a truce with and alliances with people that are really progressive. They are, in fact, willing to accept that the only way forward for us is to have more democratic power and autonomy in our communities, and that the price for having autonomy and authority in your own community, and I mean power that's achieved democratically, is to allow other people to have their own power and authority in their own communities. However, centralized power wants, of course, a centralized, authoritative, institutionalized power to dictate what is possible and benefits from ongoing cultural conflagration. The reason I go on these various shows is in order to have conversations like this, because I believe change is possible. And before I show you these clips, bear in mind that just a few short years ago, I did
Damn,
this at Fox
90.
News.
Who the hell's doing that? LVA?
This
Damn.
bit here.
Yes.
Whose property is it?
The building.
Who's the building belong to?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I'll just say it then.
You want to get arrested?
We were booked on to Sean Hannity's show. Okay. And then it was cancelled. Can I come up, have a look around, maybe have a look at the studio, touch some stuff, meet some of the people from the Hannity show?
Got a wig outside.
Why?
Because that's what we want you to do.
So, here are some of the moments from the conversations I had, and I want you to ask yourself these questions and let me know in the chat and comments what you think. Do these conversations improve the chances of us forming new power structures and new systems? Who is it that seems to be benefiting from the ongoing culture war? And let me know in the chat and the comments, because I'm interested in what you think, and I believe you can handle nuanced thinking. Let's have a look, first of all, at my appearance on Tucker Carlson on Fox News. In this conversation, both Tucker Carlson and I came to it knowing that we would disagree, presumably, about a lot of issues. That I, broadly speaking, belong to the what you might call the cultural left, that he is a conservative person, you might say. We were surprised, in fact, about how many things we agreed upon, I suppose because we both agree with individual and community freedom. There were moments where I gently and respectfully confronted Tucker Carlson around some of the issues where I explicitly disagree with him. For example, the way he's spoken about homelessness in the past, perhaps identity issues, issues of sexuality, and I was surprised, in fact, about how little Tucker Carlson really cared about regulating the private life of other people. But what I would say is that what inspired me about this conversation is both Tucker Carlson and I are absolutely
Matt, sorry.
establishment power,
not
whether
the
it's
plant
on the
manager.
left or the right, but neither of those terms mean anything anymore. That authority and government power has been co-opted by financial interest to such a degree.
This job
that no one
is
voting
mostly
for
just staffing
anything
for not only
meaningful
this
anymore.
place, but
Have
some
a
other
look.
places
These are
around
the
the
facts I
area.
was
But
gonna,
I do IT work
tell you
too.
about, if I may. I hope you will.
Technology
I
work.
certainly
I
shall do
don't
my
really call
best.
it IT work anymore.
I wanted to do it down the barrel. Did you see that? Did
It's
you
not
see
all
the
information technology. It's just
presumptiveness of me there,
technology.
Tucker, to turn straight ahead. A single that frankly wasn't there, because this is Tucker Carlson today.
Let's get an ISO shot on Mr. Brand.
How does Russell look?
Thank you. Look at he directs from the floor. Hello, America. In the world of energy, you know energy that we require to do stuff, to move things about, to warm our homes. At least 100 members of Congress own fossil fuel stocks, of which 59 are Republicans and 41 are Democrats. Oh, look, the Republicans are a bit worse. Pharma. Of the $263 million of the pharmaceutical industry spent on lobbying in 2021, it gave 61% to the Democrat Party and 39% to the Republicans. Oh no, the Democrat Party is a bit worse. Wall Street. In 2022, commercial banks spent over $30 million lobbying Congress, 61% to the Republicans and 39%
to the Democrats. Oh no, look, the Republicans are a bit worse. If you've seen any of the criticism in the neoliberal media, you might think, well, what was it about? Because these are not right-wing talking points. This is
Nice flush.
anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian, anti-financial corruption rhetoric that everyone should be interested in. So it makes me think that the voices that are attacking me are, whether unconsciously or not, supporting establishment power. Let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat. Let's see what's coming next. Nearly 20% of Congress members, 49 Democrats and 44 Republicans, have been trading shares of companies in industries they are supposed to be overseeing as part of their committee assignment. Each one of these facts
How does one look
potential
evil?
solution to the
Just
problem
curious.
that it describes. Don't let members of Congress own stocks at all. Pharma, do not accept lobbying money from the pharmaceutical industry. It's a health industry. The interest should be, as the Hippocratic Oath declares, to do no harm. And get this, maybe even help people. A lot of my time spent thinking, I wish I could pull that necklace back in front. There's a pendant there and it's gone off to the, wait a minute, oh no, it's swung to the right. And if you remove the gargantuan motivation for profit, and I'm not talking about ending trade and profit and all of those kind of extremist arguments, I'm simply saying this is a behemoth. This is corporate gigantism. This is an outgrowth. This is a tumor. This has gone too far, and it is possible to change it. And people that say it's not possible to change it are invested in it staying the same. You will notice that. In defense, military contractors have spent $2.5
His time
billion
with
on
Joe
lobbying
Rogan
over
was
the past
pretty
2
awesome.
decades. They split their checks more or less evenly between the Democrat and Republican candidates, almost as if they've anticipated the possibility that either of those parties could get into power. Oh no, we've spent all our money on the Republican parties. What if the Democrat Party get into power? Should we give them some money as well? Oh yeah, that means whoever gets in, our outcomes will be served. That's not right-wing rhetoric, except unless you feel that what right-wing means ultimately is a position that's anti-government and anti-establishment. And I know some of you do. I know that that's exactly what many of you feel. Let me know in the chat and the comments. But what I'm interested in are systems of organisation that are beneficial to the people that they purport to serve and are accessible to the people that they purport to serve. Do you not think it's possible when you see things like Uber and all of these new tech apps that ultimately
Uber.
aggregate various powers, whether it's a car
That
or a
hat
house,
is very tall.
centralize it and allow it to be distributed, meaning things are possible now that just didn't.
That is
used to be
definitely not a
possible. Don't you
beanie.
think that could be applied elsewhere to political power?
Is it all
To
hair
have
inside there,
systems
or
where you
is-
vote for how utilities are run, systems
It
how
looks
you
like
vote
most
for
of his
how
hair is
resources
hanging
are spent?
down.
Oh no, that would mean you wouldn't need people hundreds of miles away or thousands of miles away in the case of the
Is that what you mean by evil, Chopper?
lobbyable, biasable, corruptible, making decisions with your money when they're getting paid from elsewhere. That would be a terrible system. 180 Democrats and 149 Republicans joined forces to pass last year's record $839 billion National Defense Authorization Act. The Pentagon spent $14 trillion after 9/11. 55% of it went to for-profit defense contractors. Over half of the 14 trillion spent by the Pentagon went to for-profit defense contractors. That doesn't mean that everything they do at Northrop Grumman, who I think make amazing telescopes, or Lockheed Martin, who I'm sure do incredible stuff, is nefarious, but it does mean it's worth the investigation, and these are
Yeah,
facts.
let
that are
me
significant
see
in
if
the way
I
that the country is
take
organised,
it
the
off
way
of
that
just
your media reports
the
on stories,
tab.
and the way that all of us live our lives.
It sounds better, and
Of
I'll
course,
show my hand
those
too. I don't
tax
care.
dollars are yours. That's your money that's being described in those enormous figures. Now, police, and we're going to do a video on that tomorrow, because believe you me, the Capitol Police are getting some new funding that's pretty interesting, and it's a complicated issue, and there are many perspectives on it. But you, I'm sure, like me, would agree that to be able to say that kind of stuff on a mainstream channel is helpful and advances the conversation. And I would say conciliatory in tone. Elsewhere in the chat, I explicitly say that I believe people should be able to identify however they want, express themselves however they want, as long as they don't hurt anyone else, obvious kind of stuff like that. And
True.
I specifically spoke to Tucker around the issue of homelessness. The only thing that I've ever seen, sir, that I would call you up on is when I've seen you talking about homelessness, and I feel that when talking about the subject of destitution and people that live in poverty, that the basis for that conversation should be love, and also for all of the displaced people in the world, that the foundational principle should be love. I'm not claiming that I'm able to maintain that line when something offends me for some cultural or personal reason, but I know that this is what I aspire to.
I agree with that, and I feel that drug addicts living outside are used as political pawns to destabilize society. I feel like they're not treated on purpose. The mentally ill live outside and die outside and are left to do that because it's useful for the people in power to draw attention away from their own misdeeds. And I'm angry about it, but I'm not angry at the fentanyl addict.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
angry at the industry that's grown up around him that doesn't treat any of his needs, that leaves him to die alone.
What are you talking about, dear?
So, and that the politicians who posture.
Would you like to get on panel and discuss this?
When they could have prevented it. And unfortunately, I get so overheated. I get so
That took 3 days.
In many cases, I have allowed myself to.
Would you like to get on panel and discuss this?
Certainly not. As a sober person, I have deep empathy for anyone who's lost.
Dude, 3 different kinds of jelly beans too.
So there we go.
That was so
Tucker
high.
Carlson, who on a personal level was extremely kind and beautiful to me, and I think he's a good person, and I don't believe that he is a negative influence in American cultural life. I believe that you have to accept that people have different perspectives on cultural issues. If you don't, the alternative is some form of tyranny.
Why the fuck did it take you 3 days since they've been gone to notice?
The answer, because it's a big old world out there, and people.
Yeah, I ate them all.
Different. So I think that broadly speaking, that was a positive
Ate every last
conversation,
one of
and
them
generally
fuckers.
speaking, we need more conversations like it. And by God, I've been having them, because I also went on Greg Gutfield's show, which I didn't know is the highest rated late night show in television, not Kimmel or any of those others. It's this one. So I went on there to talk about similar issues, which of course I suppose makes me a right-wing conspiracy theorist. And like all good right-wing conspiracy theorists, I went on Fox News and said this.
Worried about the IQ decline?
Yes, I am. And actually, I've got a series of good points to make, because education is fundamentally affected by poverty. Here, Greg Gutfield was talking about IQs dropping in America for the first time in, I don't know, 50 years, ever, one of those things. And I used the opportunity to talk about education and the connection between education and poverty and the necessity to invest in education. Have a look. Okay, so listen to this. According to Global Citizen, poverty is the main barrier to education.
Should I
in the
pick up
United
some
States.
tonight?
I want to draw your collective attention to the pandemic. I think we all understand that during
Should I
the
be
pandemic,
looking for
education
a
declined.
replacement?
Now, I can see that Greg's only got a 1 minute break. Yeah. 1 minute to a commercial, so I've got to wrap this.
Tell them how long those jelly beans sat in
Oh, thanks for
on
coming.
that cupboard.
Now, listen, during that pandemic period, billionaires added 5 trillion to their fortunes. That means that during the pandemic, a new billionaire
She's not
was
talking
created
now. She's
every
pissed.
single day, while extreme poverty increased everywhere.
She's not
While
on
small
panel.
businesses closed everywhere. Now, I'm going to say something on that until recently would not have been possible.
I answered you.
As President, Donald Trump's tax cuts helped billionaires pay less taxes than the working class in 2018 for the first time in American history.
It's not
The
muted.
400
I
wealthiest people
answered.
paid a lower tax rate than
Yes,
any
I
other
ate
group.
them.
Right-wing fascists, come on. But check this out, Fox News viewers.
Would you like
You're
me
gonna
to
this
replace
bit.
them? I
In
will.
October 2021, Democrats scaled back plans for a crackdown on tax cheating, bowing to an aggressive lobbying
I invited
campaign
you
by
into the
banking
panel
industry,
to
while Joe Biden told rich donors
discuss
on
it.
the campaign trail that nothing would fundamentally change if he were elected president. So like some of the great points in your monologue, you made the point that it's the two-party system itself, and in particular the manner in which it is funded, that prevents meaningful change for ordinary people. And this education problem, while the jokes you made were about the culture, Kardashians, etc., really, education, if the state has a duty at all, is the cultivation of young Americans, it is the protection of young Americans. This would be my point, Greg Gutfeld.
Very good, very good.
I belong to self-organizing, anarchic, mutual support groups that help people with various addiction issues. In those groups, we say, look for the similarities and not for the differences. Do you think that might be something that's applicable in culture more broadly? That we should look for the areas where we agree with one another rather than focusing on the disagreements. Where there are disagreements, perhaps what we have to have is autonomy. You want to live a traditional lifestyle, you go for it. You want to live a progressive lifestyle, you go for it. The state should be minimally involved in people's lives. Minimally might mean you need support with education, you might need military support. These are things that we can vote on. Wouldn't you prefer to be voting in systems where your politicians haven't already been co-opted? Let me know in the comments. Are you willing to allow other people to live how they want to if they allow you to live how you want to? Do you think centralized authority...
I've been answering you about the jelly beans.
Stoking differences, creating conflict between ordinary people, have far
You just
more in common with one
you
another
spouted
than
off and then you
ever have
left.
with the establishment and institutions that govern their lives. Do you think think a better world is possible if we reach out our hand in friendship to people that we
I
don't
have been
agree
answering
with?
you.
Or do you think we should be doubling down
And
on
there's been
differences,
plenty of
throwing
commentary about
stones,
it.
arguing and bickering? Can you imagine me having a conversation like that on MSNBC?
I'm talking about the
CNN?
jelly beans. I'm not talking about picking this stuff up. That yeah, I got
You're
that taken
talking
care of.
about me as if I'm not here and as if
As
I'm
soon as
an
this poker game's over with, I'm
Doesn't
killing the
that
stream and
seem like a reason to
heading
go
out.
on
I'm gonna do
Fox
some
News and
mobile
discuss that stuff? Let me know in
mobile
the chat.
streaming
Let me
until
know in the comments what
dinner.
you think. So the establishment media can do as many
And maybe
bits
picking up
pieces
some
on me
jelly
as they
beans.
want to. I'm going to continue to reach out and have conversations.
Do you want me to replace the jelly beans? She won't eat them. She hates that shit. I love them. So if I buy them, they're for me.
With people
But
from across the political
she'll
spectrum.
just
One
throw
thing
them
I've
away.
noticed that they believe and I don't believe is
Especially
they
after I
think
ate all
you're
hers,
stupid.
all
They think you
hours.
can't
I think they
handle
were
nuance.
our
They
jelly
think you
beans,
can't handle
actually.
complicated
I think they were a
conversations about the
gift to
balance
all.
between power and duty and authority and
I
largesse
love black
and
licorice jelly beans. So.
licentiousness and morality and ethics and all of the complexity there entailed. I believe you can handle it. I believe you can handle the truth. I believe that collectively we have a greater intelligence than any aristocracy. I believe in true democracy. I believe that if we have conversations like
No,
this,
they're
we
the
will
best,
come to
man.
peaceful conclusions that
I like them 'cause
meaningfully
nobody else
change the
likes them too.
trajectory of the planet. That's what I believe. That human beings are fundamentally beautiful. There's a bit of good in
And I
the
like
worst
the
of us, a
taste
bit
of
bad in the
anise.
best of us, and together we can create something
Which is-
beautiful. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments in the chat. I'll see you in just a few seconds.
No, here's the fucking news.
Where the fuck am I gonna find that?
So many comments from you guys. Thank you for contributing to the conversation. Amy Bugavila, the lines are blurred now. Highlander 79, Russell has to go through the BBC. They play ball different over there. Kelly P, Russell, I'm learning so much about how to have respectful conversations with diverse people. Then she says,
I mean, your mom got them from Kroger's on a discount, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, imagine if I
discovered that you actually wrote it.
Oh, Russell, I am so great. I mean, you are so
Who the
great.
fuck is bidding
sorry,
500? What's he
anyway.
got?
Yeah, loads of you. Some great stuff.
Jeez.
Some people saying like that.
James is Jesse's still in it.
Yeah, but they don't trust him.
He's
Other
gonna
people
call.
saying
I'm
they
gonna call.
love Tucker.
Okay.
Well, me and Gareth were chatting about
3
it,
nines,
saying, like,
nice.
maybe what it is like
Hey, Jack.
the right or the Republicans, let me know if you agree with this, benefit from voter apathy and disinterestedness in partisan politics. So ultimately, if everyone
I don't know where there's a 5 below.
old people will still vote because they love it. And
You didn't go there for jelly beans,
But
though.
hey, man,
So don't give me
you
that
know, You
shit.
can't make an omelette without what shitting in the woods. I can't remember the details. There's something that has to happen for an omelette to happen. I can't remember. It's complicated stuff.
You went there
Hey,
for
have you ever made an omelette?
dog
It's not very
balls.
nice. It smelled disgusting, and it had a stool in the middle of it, Gareth. A stool, I tell thee. Anyway, loads of lovely comments. If you want to get involved in these comments, join our locals community. You can join it for free, but if you become a member, you get ad-free content. Imagine that. What a glorious thing that is. Also, you get the weekly show, Stay Connected, where me and Gareth show you how we make this show and respond directly to your questions, as well as getting my new
Yeah, because they
stand-up,
didn't have the balls.
Pandemic. Have a look at a little clip of that. It's only a minute long. It's pretty funny, I think.
There's not one off Alexis
Have a look at a clip from my
where I'm going, or I mean Temperance.
The feeling you had, because I fucking do, the first time you saw people queuing up outside the supermarket. I see people queuing up outside the supermarket, and I thought, fuck off. There's no way that I will ever queue up outside a supermarket. Like it's a nightclub. It's not Velvet Row and a geezer in a stab fest. And I'm just not joking. The supermarket. I won't do it. But I fucking did. I stood there like an obedient prisoner of the state on my little fucking sticker circle and waited till the person on that sticker had moved along. Then I took my turn nicely, like Twister for wankers.
You can buy that for a one-off fee of $20 on locals right now, or for $50 you get access to everything.
Just want to reassure people who might buy it now, there's not a countdown clock in the corner for the whole way through.
Like, no, because that undermines me,
It
that
does a little
countdown
bit,
clock.
doesn't
Like,
it?
oh, when's this guy going to shut up? In 46 minutes and 32 seconds, that's when he's going to shut up. Also, if you join us on Locals, check this out. You're going to love this. We're having a podcast with Graham Hancock, the
Film beans.
Egyptologist and studier of arcane
Yeah.
systems.
They've been gone for a few days. She just now noticed it. So that's how bad she needed those jelly beans.
Like a black woman. I feel like he's a pretty cool guy.
I think I ate them. I think I finished them off Sunday, but I tore into them Saturday night.
What is he? What's the problem?
Passed out on the couch in a
All
sugar
I'm saying is there
coma.
might have been earlier civilizations. He's challenging.
There might have been something else involved
You
too.
are able to just go, no, I don't agree with that. You could just go, no, I think the archaeological conventions are fine. It's not like saying, I'll kill you if you don't agree that archaeological conventions must be challenged. Anyway, if you want to come and see me,
Is there? There's one in Monroe.
Chat to Graham Hancock. We're going to give
Where?
a few sets of tickets, but only to people that are on Locals. So join it now. If you're already a Locals member, you'll be able to watch it stream online or win these tickets and actually come here to Stay Free HQ. And
She's
join
looking
us.
it up.
Be among us. Imagine
This is
seeing
nuts.
Gareth in the flesh, stroking him. Some of the other people back there that are working so hard to create this content. You can look at them, study them, prod them. You can even use my please can I talk now stick to poke at them, to goad them into violence. See how they respond under pressure. I try every day to give them a little bit of pressure just to see how they cope. So join my community, sign up to Locals. There's a red button if you're watching it on a laptop, on a phone. It's a bit different, but you know, join up. You understand tech, right? You're watching
Tech King.
on the
The
show
end.
tomorrow. We've got a city trader turned inequality campaigner by the name of Gary Stevenson. I've seen this
Slap
guy on
him.
Instagram talking about how the system works. You'll love it. He's just talking about the corruption of it.
You just tell him truths. Maybe truths you don't want to hear.
Government is to take public money and to put it into private hands.
Why do I keep
Explains
getting
how
a
it works.
newsletter
Like
from-
as Seinfeld famously says, it's like someone who's read the inside of the Monopoly lid. Community chest means. What is community chest? Does anyone really know? So, join us on the show tomorrow. Well done today, Gareth. Great show.
Thank you so much.
Did really well. That's enough out of you. Thanks.
Got it,
Can I talk now? Join us tomorrow, not for more of the same, but for more of the different. Until then, stay free.
Damn.
I think that a lot of people's minds might be made up. I think that there's certainly things that are part of his character, and then there are certainly things that look very suspicious. But what my position has been and will remain to be is that the guy deserves his day in court, and it's up until now been something that is continually being delayed. If you know all of the various claims that are put forth against not just him but his brother, the case you would think, by the time someone makes an arrest, would have been pretty ironclad.
Oh, it's at the mall.
But it really doesn't seem that way now, as his trial has been, or his release has been denied
All right.
multiple times.
After this poker game, I'll go get you some fucking jelly
So he's
beans.
sitting in custody without a trial, and that
I'm gonna buy separate. There's gonna be your jelly beans and my jelly
I don't
beans.
care for it. People have a right to trial, and from what I understand, in Romania, they can go 180 days or something like that before actually placing any kind of formal charges on the guy, giving him his trial. So he had appealed to be released, and it was just maybe a few hours ago. It has been denied. But this is a weird situation. At the end of 2022, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan were detained by Romanian authorities on suspicion of trafficking and all sorts of other things. 2 other females were also arrested. They also have already taken all of his cars and his assets and all this stuff. This generally seems like something that would happen after you've been charged, or once you have like some very strong case. But now, since then, as the investigation has continued, the controversial pair has remained in custody amid numerous appeals to be released early. Now, a lot of people will rightfully point out that they have the means, or at least they used to have the means, the money, the connections to be a flight risk, which is why you might think, hey, these people get denied bail, but they've already seized everything, and it'll be interesting to see what is actually put forth in the court of law. I still remain very skeptical that this will ever go to trial. I just have this weird feeling. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's
Valentine's
weird.
Day's over with.
But now, so as per reports from Romania, the Tates were granted separate appeals to once again be released early, with Andrews coming today.
I know you've lost your mind.
And Tristan's tomorrow. Andrews has since been rejected by the judge, with controversial personality remaining.
Well, make me act like a man.
March 29th at the earliest. That'd be another 2 weeks. Though he has until March 16th to appeal, which I assume he will. Quote,
that's
the court
a ways away
rejects
there still.
the request to replace measure of preventative arrest with the measure of judicial control on bail formulated by the defendant TEA as inadmissible in principle. With the right to appeal within 48 hours of communication, a judge told the Romanian outlet. Sky News has also confirmed that Tate's lawyer will again appeal the decision. With Andrews' appeal being rejected, it's very likely that his brother's appeal will also fail, and that the pair will remain in custody for at least another 2 weeks. And what's interesting about this is, so you don't hear a lot about Andrew Tate anymore, and that's exactly what kind of the media wants. There's been some acolytes that have kind of come up in his absence, different podcasts and things like that have filled the void. That's the thing kind of that I was talking about. Like, the media, they wanted this guy gone so badly because they believed he was such a terrible influence on youth. And I don't know if they're true or not. He certainly said some base things, but he also said some wild things. But I'm old enough to kind of be able to know the difference, tell the difference. I'm not some like teenager, so I don't know. But what I can say is this is very suspicious for me to keep this guy without a trial. All you're really doing is continuing to make him a martyr, to continue to sow seeds of doubt that you actually have what it takes to charge the guy. If you think you're going to win the court case, why aren't you doing that?
That's
a
taking
lot
a dive
of people
on this
celebrated when he got arrested, and my position has been and will continue to be: the guy gets his day in court. I don't know if I would, if I would kick it with him. I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would call me some sort of soy-infused ignoramus anyway. But I have continued to be consistent in that he deserves his day in court. This article via Sky says Andrew Tate's appeal against the 30-day extension of his
March
detention
20th, so we still got a week.
Meaning the controversial social media influencer will remain in prison. I just think this is not the win that so many people will continue to think it is. Tate, a British U.S. citizen, was appealing in Bucharest against the judge's decision on the 21st of February to keep him
not
in
a big
Romanian
fan.
prison for another 30 days. What's going to happen if something happens to him in prison? He'll be a martyr forever, and thus
not a big fan.
Solidify his matrix theory as being absolute fact. I just think if you're worried about it from an ideological standpoint, then you got to give this guy a speedy trial. If you had the evidence that you claim you do months ago when you arrested him, why hasn't he been charged? Why hasn't he been formally given his day in court?
Yeah, but it tastes like a few other things too.
I'm not on the inside of the
I'm gonna drink an alcohol that tastes like it. I drink ouzo.
Information in there that I don't know about. That's fine. I'm not trusting.
And I don't like ouzo either. It's
10
not generally the taste.
That somebody on Twitter puts out and says, "See, proof."
Fucking headaches.
Proof.
I mean, I've had
days
absinthe
of
before.
AI now. You've got to see everything in context and in its full.
Too much shit in it.
In full and original format.
Even ouzo's not
The
all that
rejection of the
great.
appeal means he will remain in detention at least until March 29th. It's the fourth time that Tate has requested to be released from custody since his arrest last December. So the guy's been in prison without a day in court for going on 3.5 months now, over 100 days. Before the latest court decision, a post appeared on Tate's Twitter account that says, if you want a life people will aspire for, you'll need to be prepared to defend it. Tate's outspoken spokesperson said afterwards, quote, "We are disappointed in this outcome as we had high hopes to see Andrew reunited with his family. His legal team will be appealing this decision within the 48-hour time frame. The 36-year-old former
That's all
professional
in, so I'm just
kickboxer
checking.
and his brother Tristan are being investigated over
fuck
some
you got,
serious
man?
claims. They're also being detained on other suspicions like organized crime and things of that nature. Now, they've been taken into custody on December 29th. So that gives you what, 290? I mean, we're getting close.
Bye-bye,
We're like probably 120
Matthew.
days now. They've been in prison without a trial. 2 Romanian women were also detained alongside the brothers, who have also not been formally charged. So you have
GG,
4
Matt.
people in prison without charges. Now, if this guy is as bad as everyone says he is,
Let's
it
just
feels
do
like
this.
at least one of these 4 people would have given.
You're gonna keep raising me. I'm gonna.
Right.
I'm just gonna push it.
It just feeds this little like brain worm in your head where it's like, look, I'm not saying I'd want the guy dating my daughter, okay, but how much of this stuff is, how strong is their case really? You know, how strong is their case really? Because, you know, the spokesperson for Romania's anti-organized crime confirmed Tate's latest request for bail was rejected at a hearing in Bucharest this morning. It's not clear what bail conditions were proposed by Tate's legal team. In Romania, it's rare for defendants under judicial conditions such as house arrest or geographical restrictions. Tate's appeal has been rejected after the brothers lost an earlier appeal back on February 21st. Tristan's fresh bail hearing is tomorrow. Romanian authorities says they seized goods and money worth almost 3.25 million euro or pounds from Tate's villa, including luxury cars.
It is
He has
expensive
repeatedly
too. You're
claimed
right.
that Romanian prosecutors have no evidence and their alleged case is political conspiracy designed to silence him. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. The truth is probably somewhere in
I may go
between.
live mobile.
However, the agency investigating him said that after
Turn on the
December
scanner and
arrest,
see if we hear anything
he
before I have to have
identified
dinner
6
before I go in
people who
for
would come
my
forward in trafficking
later
case
shift.
who are allegedly subjected to all sorts of terrible things. The agency said that they were lured under
I'm just gonna pause this now. All right. Here's the deal. As the coppers would say, Congress progress. Good games, everybody. Nice game, LVA. I'm probably. Yeah, I know. It came with the shirt. It's also got this here. You know what this is? You know what that is? Burn it. No. Not going to burn it. It was a gift from my brother-in-law. It does have a caduceus on it, but that whole symbol is something else. That is how you say it. Well, I mean, not exactly how you spell it, but it does have a caduceus on it. I actually have this something similar without the laurel leaves around it, tattooed right here. Yeah, it does have a caduceus within it. Caduceus is just the sword and the snakes. It's called a CMB. The non-laurel version of just the symbol with the litter behind it. It's a litter. They call it a stretcher. It's called an Expert Field Medical Badge, EFMB. CMB just means that makes it a combat medical badge. Just like you'll have the rifle, which is your EIB, your expert infantry badge. If that was the laurel leaves on it too, it's combat infantry badge, CIB. So that's the only difference. But like I said, I'm probably going to go on mobile. We'll see. Scanner's working. I'll run up to the mall, I guess, and then I got to pick something up for the wife before I go grab something to eat. I think I've done some work. Official? I don't think so. It's we bought one for him too. Well, the wife bought one for him. I didn't know we were getting it because I didn't know I was getting one. His has the engineer, the combat engineer, the castle. It's a castle basically. The combat engineer is a castle. It's the division. Did I serve? Yeah, I did. 5 years. I did. Probably would have retired if I hadn't have been treated so poorly near the end. So castle rolls. I'm gonna play my song on the way out. Check for the notification. I've only had one today, so you should see it if I do it. If I do it. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. Not going to be a late one today. I started a little bit earlier today. I was hoping to meet some more people today, but 1 out of the 4 that I had scheduled today showed up. So hard to fill positions when nobody wants to fucking work. Even ones that are paying decent. So I'm going to play my outro song. Yeah, shit. I'll play my outro song. I'll probably be back up on mobile, though. Peace, everybody. Songs. Yeah, they do. They screw you at the VA. They do that. I've been lucky where I go, but that's for another discussion.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Coming out with a statement. You really changed, man. All your music and arrangement. You don't know shit. Shut your mouth. kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want